KDCBroadcasting.com.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with my co-host Jason Aldean, who is part of an all-star game of beer pong right after the ACM Award Show.
Yeah, man, it was fun. It was so fun. It ended up being an epic night. It was fun.
That's Jason Aldean this week on Country Countdown USA.
Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, and online at KDCBroadcasting.com.
Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series is part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. They feature powerful Kubota diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota L-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive on Oak Grove Road at the Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain. Now is the time to head to Marburger Chevrolet in Shelby for that new 2024 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 truck. Now get 2.9% APR financing for 72 months for well-qualified buyers. Or get $5,000 total value with your eligible trade-in. And that's not all. Get 1.9% APR financing on the new 2024 Chevrolet Equinox for well-qualified buyers. Or get $2,500 total cash allowance. Marburger Chevrolet, 200 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at marburgerchevy.net.
The Yamaha Get Out and Ride sales event is underway at Full Throttle Power Sports in Lowell. Get 3.9% APR financing and up to $3,500 cash with approved credit for qualified buyers. But that's not all. Suzuki Fest is underway with 2.9% APR financing for 36 months for qualified buyers. And get the hottest ride of the summer with the Yamaha Slingshot with no money down or 5.99% APR financing for qualified buyers or $1,000 in customer cash. Come in for the details at Full Throttle Power Sports, 101 Indian Walk in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com. Make this the summer of Dodge at Abernathy Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lincolnton. Lease a new 2024 Dodge Hornet RT for $427 per month for 24 months. $39.99 due at signing. No security deposit required. Lease payment term is factored in. A $6,500 EV incentive provided by the lender. Come in for all the details. Make this the summer of Dodge at Abernathy Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1442 East Main Street in Lincolnton.
Style with Kevin, Zach, Tom, Terry, JP, and today we actually have two guests in the studio with us. Brent Pasco and Zach, who actually didn't you move to the Saturday show, the Friday show?
We were doing something along with that. We'll
okay.
To be seen at this moment.
Yeah. But they're in the studio this morning with us since Tom and Terry couldn't be with us. They're doing something else.
How are you liking your temporary new digs, JP?
They're nice. I enjoy it.
roomy, spacious.
Yeah.
He likes it because we can't look in there and see him
Yeah, on the phone,
sleeping and
There's
playing
no clear
Nintendo.
window.
So we got it. We got the camera on him, so we got to keep an eye on him. He's down the hall.
He's in the
by
dark
himself.
though. It looks like he's on the dark side.
Is the lights on in there? Isn't it, JP?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, he just looks
Is that
dark.
mood lighting?
Yeah, mood lighting. Just go with that.
Get the lava lamp.
Well, happy Saturday, everybody. Happy 4th of July Independence Day this week. I hope everybody had a good week, good few days. Of course, the weekend is just beginning for some for this weekend, so everybody be careful out there. We're going to start with our breakfast this morning. I had egg and cheese biscuit from McDonald's, Brentwood, and a strawberry banana smoothie. Brent, what'd you have this morning?
I had just the straight up sausage biscuit. Hard
That's
to
what
beat.
Zach's going to get here shortly.
That's what I'm gonna be getting.
Chip, what'd you have this morning?
I had a little pizzazz to that. I had a little sausage and egg to my biscuit.
JP, what you eating on in there this morning?
I'll be having a sausage gravy biscuit when I get back with Zach's.
You'll be having a
sausage.
what?
Say that again.
Sausage gravy biscuit.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, the
You
great.
sounded like our president there for a second. I couldn't quite understand what you were saying in there.
Look, did you beat your biscuit? Is that when? Or did you fix your biscuit?
He's jet lagged.
He is from the ride from Grover.
saw
This
that
morning. He's
from
jet
Zach.
lagged from Grover this
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Hope we get your breakfast. That's your local McDonald's here in Cherryville. Mr. Kuthan and the gang. Well, thank you for providing breakfast for us every Saturday. Let's see. Sorry, that's the wrong time. I thought it was the other time. Anyway, JP's going to head on down the road and then get some more McDonald's biscuits. We've had a big week this week. We've got baseball, Major League to talk about, NFL, NASCAR, golf, NBA, and more. First, we're going to start with Brent Pasco and a little bit what he's been working on, and also, I guess, Chip a little bit as well. American Legion Baseball update this week. Shelby won last night, Brent.
Yeah, they swept 3-0. They won game 1 12-1, then 7-0 at Burke, and then last night 7-1. So pretty good when you outscore 26-2 in the series. So they sweep and they get to wait on the winner of Asheville and the Gaston Braves. Gaston won last night in 9 innings, so they lead 2-1.
Huh.
Shorter drive, so I'm kind of pulling for
Pulling
For
for
the
the
G
Braves,
Braves, yeah.
absolutely.
And local.
And local,
Local
right.
team.
Cherryville plays tonight down at Union County over at I'm pretty sure the other night it was at Mallard Creek. I'm pretty sure it'll be the same place. I say that, never know in Legion sometimes you have to move or change.
We've played at
fields.
some interesting fields last year. I can say that, Kevin.
different spots. Yeah, like like for instance, just here locally, the Gaston Braves sometimes they've had to move between East Gaston and South Point depending on schedules and other things. So that's what I mean by that. Not that Asheville don't know where they're going. It's just that, or sometimes it works out that way. So Brent, Shelby was waiting on, you said, Asheville and Gaston County winner, right?
Yep.
Gaston Braves,
Gaston
and
Braves,
then
right.
Cherryville is playing.
They're up 2-1 on Union.
And you know who they're playing the winner of that? Do you got that?
Rutherford.
Okay.
And Rutherford leads 2-0 in their series. They got a late start, so if they lose game 1 today, they'll play a doubleheader today.
Okay. So a lot of people have been anticipating the Rutherford County, either Shelby or Cherryville matchup here in Legion Ball. So looking like it's going to happen, Brent?
I think so. I think Cherryville has it set up to win, and Rutherford probably close out today, and you'll see Cherryville, Rutherford, and then I don't know who Shelby will end up playing. But I think Asheville's a little bit better, but they're down 2-1. So
That'd be pretty cool to have Cherryville, Rutherford, Shelby, and Gaston.
It would
That right
be.
there, right in our listening area. That'd be pretty impressive.
Well, Chip, in the World Series, some of these people ask, well, how do we see some of these same teams, every year, or how do some of these teams make it back? It's actually harder to win Area 4. You have to win more games to win Area 4 than some of these teams have to win to make it to the World Series.
Yeah.
And that's what's frustrating for a lot of, American Legion fans. Like, you're proud of the area having a lot of teams, But then a New Jersey team or whatever's got, or Georgia's got 4 teams in their whole state, and then they win that, and then load up and win the regional, and all of a sudden they've won 6 games and they're in the World Series.
How the regions are segmented doesn't seem very uniform. You know?
Correct. I don't know the exact numbers on that at all, but it is some states. They'll have 2 or 4, and we got with 17 in Area 4, and we got more than some states have. And so that right there just shows you how strong it is in the area. Of course, we'll have the state championships here in Cherryville on KTC Broadcasting. If any of our local teams make it to the regionals in Asheboro, that'll be August 7th to 11th. And then, of course, the World Series here this year. 15th through 20th at Shelby. We'll have the Jamboree that week also to Brent from Burns High School. So that'll be live video this year for you folks who get to watch the Jamboree and get ready for high school football starting up. So real quick recap. Last night, game 3, Cherry won 8-2. Starter and winner was Braden Reynolds with a complete game. Colin Robinson, 2 RBIs, and Colton Mays, 2 RBIs today at Marvin Ridge. Tomorrow at Cherryville if necessary. So that's the games for Cherryville and Union. RS Central, Rutherford County, that's where we're playing is RS Central. Rutherford County and Gastonia. So Rutherford's up 2-1 in that series, Brent. There'll be a RS Central tonight for that series. You said Shelby and Burke. Shelby's the 1 seed, Burke the 9. Braves and Asheville. Braves won the first, Asheville second, and Braves the third. Shelby won the first for all 3. Sorry, in sweeping the series. Caleb Summey last night with the starter win. Brent, you said
They threw Putnam game 1. McGowan game 2 and Summey game 3.
Last night, game 3 for the Gaston Braves. For you folks listening over here in Gaston, on the eastern side of Gaston County, reliever and winner was Aaron Main. David Nix had 2 hits, double and 2 RBIs, and Trip Dow had 2 hits. Cam Ashes 2 hits as well for the Braves. So there's your American Legion local and World Series upcoming update. For our NASCAR fans still sitting out there listening to us from our previous show, thanks for holding in. I know you guys are waiting for your NASCAR update and news. We go to this weekend to the Windy City of Chicago. The street race is back.
I was about to ask, are they bringing that back?
It's hard to believe. It's already been a year since we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
The time flies. So yeah, you're right. So last year Van Gisbergen won the race, and like most street races in today's NASCAR world, there's 5 or 6 guys you're kind of putting at the top and thinking they're going to be the favorites, whether it's Kyle Larson or Chase Elliott or Gisbergen or whoever. Let's see the entry list.
To your point, Kevin, it's like the road races or the street races. The guys that you put up there as your favorites, it kind of flips the script. And some of the teams they would hire like a specific driver for, like Boris said. Boris said was like he was the road course expert, so they'd always bring him into Watkins Glen or Steers Point if a team needed a backup driver or something. He was always the spare guy for the road course.
Him and Robbie Gordon.
Yeah.
So
Ricky Rudd always performed well.
A lot of them. Well, Ricky was a full time. Those 2 were more like. And what Chip's talking about, I know a lot of you NASCAR fans do, but if you aren't our NASCAR fan, don't. Some of the lower tier teams that don't, that may not perform as well in other races of the super speedways would bring in some of these other drivers come in their cars and race, and they do well. They 3 dues in a row there.
You said I'm glad you put a 3rd one on that.
But Gisbergen is in the race. He won it last year. He'll be from Auckland, New Zealand. I don't think that's just the entry list. They haven't done any qualifying yet. Schedule this weekend. Xfinity Series is today. The Loop 110 at 3:30. KDC Broadcast, WCSL. You're listening to us right now if you want to listen to it. And then tomorrow afternoon, 4:30 is race time. 3:30 broadcast. The Grant Park 165 live from Chicago. Zach, you picking Kyle Busch and Terry here?
In honor of Terry.
In honor of Terry.
I will.
I know he's.
I'm a Kyle Busch fan.
I know.
myself,
I know.
but,
I know.
I think Kyle was the one that went into the.
Did he wreck
or you
again
should-
this week?
No, I'm talking about last year. I think he's the one that went hard into the. Remember, I think he had the tires sitting on top of his car when he went in that. Did they have a little rain last year? Is that what caused that? You remember?
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of rain.
That's what I thought.
That
I
was-
thought, and then they were losing it in that one turn. Everybody was wrecking.
It was.
So,
it
it was a pretty interesting little race.
I like the rain for the chaos. So here's some of the.
Here we go.
Here's you folks, some of the highlights from last. Let's go back and there's Kyle Larson's comments on it. Of course, race up. As soon as I get to it, we're not showing the wrecking and everything. Let's go back a little bit.
Turn it on.
No, do not
No.
turn it on.
Okay.
We'll just let that play for just a second. As the NASCAR.com showing some of the highlights there. It was a really good race. Like I said, it had rained right before. There's some.
Yeah.
There's Bubble.
Ooh, that wasn't Kyle going in. Kyle went in hot.
There's Blaney and a couple of others. There's Harvick. And of course, he's not racing anymore. He's announcing. So, fun little race. We'll have it here Saturday, KTCBroadcasting.com.
Is the Xfinity Series, are they in Chicago? Are they racing on the same track?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I know
So,
sometimes those specialty tracks, they reserve them specifically for NASCAR. So
I always, I'd like to see them, race the 485 loop.
yeah.
Like we're going to do a street race. Let's do the loop around town or Atlanta
But
or
with
something.
the rush hour traffic.
Yeah. But
certain lanes are closed off at certain sections. You never know when that would be fun. I would like.
Yeah,
that.
just shutting down the loop for a day and letting them see how fast that they would make it around the actual.
I would be curious, and they could
Here's the thing: there's two sides.
Yeah.
So you could go around one
Do
side,
the inner and the outer.
a big loop around and go to back the other way and do the outer, and you could have double the track. See, thank you. You're welcome, NASCAR.
And like change
Helicopter coverage.
Yeah. Change the it's wide, it's long enough around that once they're on the Pineville side, once up at the Concord side, they could the interstate, just like we've had to deal with for decades. Sudden construction, we can't get all the way around. We have to reroute them through like downtown Charlotte or something.
Chip, see if you can figure out the 485 distance around Charlotte, the mileage distance. I want to see about how fast. We'll do some quick math and see how fast they can make it around Charlotte. But I always thought that would be a fun one. And another fun one, but I know it'd probably be death involved. The Blue Ridge Parkway.
Oh,
Like, let them boys go back to the roots. That's what we're talking about. This is moonshine racing in the mountains. That's where it started. Go back up there. Forget the track, Brent. We're going around. It's real driving around the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Interstate 485 is a 66.68 mile long auxiliary interstate highway encircling Charlotte, North Carolina.
And divide that by 175 miles per hour.
Gracious.
See how quickly.
Take them about 25 minutes, maybe.
Think so?
20 minutes. 25.
Yeah.
Gotta be that long? How many miles did you say?
60, almost 67.
They do.
Well, I mean, they do 500 miles.
a mile and a half track at Charlotte. They
20
do.
minutes.
I'm trying to remember the lap times.
19 minutes.
This would be easy.
I'm going to be wrong.
Pretty close. 'Cause 60 miles an hour, times 3 is 180. So
Yeah.
divide that by 3, you're down about 20 minutes.
Roughly. It's about right.
All right. Well, I'm going to trust y'all because I don't feel like doing any type of math on this.
I don't
morning.
work at the
It's
bank
too
anymore.
early.
I leave work at work. Okay.
Chip quit adding when he pulled out of the driveway. But all right. Well, anyway. All right, Chip. Let's real quick. You got any golf news this week? Where we at?
Well, we've got
Anything big going on?
we got a 59 that was shot on Thursday. So that's only the I think the 17th or is in the teens. That's
14.
14th time
14.
in PGA history that a professional golfer.
2 this year, correct? Because there was
Yes,
another. Yeah,
yes.
2 this year.
They're
so.
getting more. It was actually brought up. They're getting more frequent. I was trying to find it's Hayden. I can't remember Hayden's last name.
I had it up earlier.
Let's see if we can.
So I wanted to
Springer?
see what he shot
Springer,
yesterday.
yes.
Springer? Yeah.
Shoots the 14th sub 60 round in PGA Tour history. How about Jim Furyk? So Jim Furyk has the record. Obviously, he shot a 58 round maybe 10 years ago or so. Jim Furyk has also shot a 59. So he shot a 58 and a 59. So out of those 14, he shot 2 of them. That's pretty pretty impressive. You would think that the fellow would have more than just one major. He's won one U.S. Open, which is that's nothing to dismiss. But you thought he would do a little bit.
Did it with that weird swing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I got a Jordan Goffin story from Jeremy Roenick. If you don't know who that is, former hockey player, Chicago Blackhawks, really good.
I thought he was a Coyote.
Did he end up being a Coyote
think
at
he
some
was.
point? God, that's embarrassing, Brandon. Roenick said, I beat him for a couple thousand, and I'm getting ready to leave. And the Bulls are playing that night. They got Cleveland. I'm thinking he's leaving. It's 10 a.m. He's like, no, we're going to play again. So he goes, we fill up the bag full of ice and Coors Light, and we start walking again. We roll around 18, and I take him for another couple thousand. So now we've been drinking all afternoon. He's going from the golf course to the stadium to play a game. And I'm like messing around. I'm like, I'm going to call my bookie tonight and put all my money that you just lost to me and put them on the Cleveland tonight.
Oh, no. Do it.
Jordan says, I tell you what, I bet you that we win by 20 and I have more than 40. And Roenick's like, done. And then son of a gun goes out there and scores 52 and they win by 26. 30 after 36 holes of golf and 10 Coors Light.
Don't poke the bear. His competitive drive was just otherworldly.
So like Chip, you say that. And I've got one small issue with Michael.
All right.
And it's just showing the pic from the story of him playing golf and everything. But like, so what we're seeing from LeBron is what I thought we would see from Michael. So you talk about that competitive spirit, and he wanted us to keep playing and keep playing. And Michael, I think he was a victim of his success to where like he wanted to get away from that part of it, and I think that was a big part of him wanting to get away. But like, y'all remember about the time he retired was about the time y'all remember the P90X that started coming out, and he was famous for working hard with Tim Grover. And this story this week, Grover talking about working out with him. I don't think I got the audio, but it was a pretty neat story. But like, I always thought that he was going to be like the guy that's going to do that right there. Hey, I know I hurt my knee. I'm going to take a year off. I'm going to come back, get in the best shape of all time. And he couldn't put down the scars and the liquor. Yeah. And everybody knows the guy that was really good. He couldn't put down the cigars and the liquor. I know I'm talking about Michael Jordan here. There's a limit to his success. Like, he went as far as he could. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of people didn't like him playing for the Wizards, saying he ruined his legacy. I'm like, how do you ruin what you've already done? Like, so a lot of people didn't want to see him going any further. Do you think, would you guys have liked to see him playing further? Or are you okay where he was? I know a lot of people aren't happy with they'd like to see the 8-peat maybe, see if that actually happened. I mean, but other than that, like, how far do you want to see the guys go? Like to me, like, so I like Vince Carter. He went as far as he could go. Yeah. Like, I can give you 15 points tonight, guys. Mm-hmm. I can give you 12 points tonight, guys.
I'm going to give you a highlight dunk in there.
I always thought at some point, like, if I was playing, that's how I would want to go out. It's like, I'm going to go out here till I can't. And then some guys want to go out at the very tip top of it. So
I think the all-time greats want to be only remembered at their peak. So I love the Barry Sanders, the Jim Browns. I love those guys that go out just, hey, I'm going out on my terms as the man.
But it also, they want that, and I go back to the drive so often, and this goes to the part about Jordan coming back to the Wizards. And no, you're not going to ruin the legacy of the GOAT. The guy's coming back at like, 47 years old or however old he was, and he's still, and yeah, he can't do it at every night. We saw it, but he could still do it. I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was, and he proved that with the Wizards. But so often that drive, they don't know when to stop.
Most baseball players have to get dragged off.
Yeah.
And then
a lot of them.
They got the DH too, but with Jordan, me and you talked about this many times too. There was something else that he was dealing with too. Was that 30-point scoring average? Yeah. Did he stop because of that?
I think it was a part of it. I really do.
How about the guy next to him on the TV screen up there?
there's so much more that goes into complicating his legacy.
Yeah.
There's just, this is coming from me, which is very tough to say. I will say, and you ask any golf fan who has watched the different generations, that Tiger has to be considered the greatest all-around golfer of all time. I will say that. And Jack self-admittedly will say he never had to develop his short game like Tiger did. Tiger had a short game that rivaled Phil, who we would say it was, even prior to his decision to go to LIV, was the standard bearer for short game wizardry around the greens. Tiger might not have been as creative. He was a little more fundamentally sound. Phil wanted the glory shot. He wanted the beautiful flop shot that dropped at like a sand of or like a sack of potatoes out of the sky and just stopped an inch from the hole. Tiger's was more fundamentally sound. Jack never had to lean on that much because he was so accurate with his irons. He just aimed for the fat part of the green and putted himself to tournaments. So in terms of all around playing, I would say give Tiger the nod over Jack simply for his short game. However, I will say Jack, where I've heard people say that I would agree with, Tiger is probably the greatest all around golfer. Jack is the greatest champion that the sport's ever had.
Zach, how you feel about having to argue with people or talk to people who've never seen either one of these two play and try to explain to them how freaking good they were and how much better they were than the field that they were playing with? And that's what a lot of people don't get, and especially today's generation. They see somebody on TV and they can't fathom that someone's better than him.
Yeah, and it frustrates me to say that, and we've talked about this on the show, that they're playing against plumbers and all this other stuff. It's made up. And then they put a picture of Bill Laimbeer the other day on there, and they say, "Oh, imagine this guy could stop LeBron." I'm like, if LeBron come down the Laimbeer in there, he would be laid out on the sideline. So they don't know. I go back to you guys all remember when the '92 Dream Team come out, and they were all playing together, and they come up against was it Croatia that Kukoc played for? Is that right? And they made it a point to show exactly how good they were, and Jordan was.
I believe the term was, I took it personally.
So
and he went and played for him later.
So speaking of Scotty Scheffler and his in unwarranted arrest, this is a
oh my God.
This is a police department in Texas seizing 700 pounds of fireworks, and the comments didn't go as well as they thought they would. Because those things are destined to blow up, right? For people to have a good time, right? So what are you seizing? Like, what are you
right.
what are you taking? So some of the comments. Hold on, I'm trying to get it together. The first one on here is F you redcoats.
Oh, geez.
Oh gosh.
You gotta remember it's Independence Day. They're taking their fireworks. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and a parade. Games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward evermore. Who said that, Chip? Do you know? We don't have this story in here, but you're sitting in a seat. That's John Adams.
Oh, okay.
One of our founding fathers talking about.
I thought it was Tom Centophone.
No, it was talking about July 4th. Anyone else see the irony in the government shutting down Independence Day celebrations? Somebody said, "Why am I paying an 8% tax on a country that we revolted over a 3% tax? Well, I'm paying 8% tax on the fireworks." That's just the way redcoats. You guys wear your fancy red jackets, so you stole the colonists' fireworks.
Yeah.
Like
it's very valid.
Yeah.
The people are so funny. Like, it's just, I don't know. That gets me. Yeah. I just thought that was pretty ironic that there's the government seizing our fireworks. All right, guys. When we come back, Zach's going to enjoy his sausage biscuit. And we're going to talk NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, and more. KDCBroadcasting.com.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Here they come up off turn number 4. Green flag goes in the air.
Is back, running in the streets of Chicago.
Trouble, turn 3. John Hunter even check up and into the outside. side wall.
As the summer of racing heats up on Michigan Avenue.
Riley will give it one more run. It will not be enough, and Sam Mayer has won.
It's the Loop 110.
Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, Carolina Country WCSL, 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, online at kdcbroadcasting.com. Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville offers various mortgage options to fit your goals and budget with a dedicated mortgage loan officer to help guide you through the process. Contact Carolina Federal Credit Union today at 704-435-0186. Whether you're buying your first home or refinancing, Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville can help you. Learn more at carolinafcu.org or visit their office at 1200 East Church Street in Cherryville. Carolina Federal Credit Union, an equal housing lender. For over 60 years, Honda Motorcycles of Shelby has been serving this area, and they continue to do so today. Right now, you'll find a good inventory of dirt bikes, plus 150 and up to 450 models of on- and off-road bikes. See the new 2024 Honda Rebel, along with 4x4 ATVs and side-by-sides, including the Pioneer and the Talon, plus Gold Wings and Trikes. And don't forget about their parts and service department. That's Honda Motorcycles of Shelby, 4402 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, online at hondamotorcyclesofshelby.com. Happy 4th of July from Kimbrell's Furniture in downtown Gastonia and West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. And Kimbrell's Furniture will be open July 4th for a big 10% off store-wide sale. Everything 10% off July 4th. It's time to celebrate. Living room, dining room, bedroom, bedding, appliances, lawn and outdoor. And register to win an end table with a Bluetooth speaker, FM radio, and wireless charging. Plus register to win an 8-piece patio set. Visit your nearest Kimbrell's Furniture, 250 East Main Avenue in Gastonia and at 300 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
This year celebrates the 100th anniversary of the Cleveland County Fair. Dates are set for September 26th through October the 6th. There will be plenty of great entertainment to help celebrate the 100th year. Plus ride-off rides. We'll be back again with over 40 rides. See the demolition derbies, the bands, magic acts, the livestock, and more. This year will be the biggest of all, so plan now to attend the 100th edition of the Cleveland County Fair, September 26th through October 6th. Buy tickets online at clevelandcountyfair.com.
How would you like a pizza oven in your backyard? You can with a stop in at Innovative Pool Designs in Kings Mountain. Now you can buy a 30-inch pizza oven with wood or gas fire selections and get a free cart. Now that's a deal. A wood-fired pizza at home. And while you're there, see their selection of Coyote grills and spas. And spa financing is available with low payments and no money down with approved credit at Innovative Pool Designs in the new location, 836 East King Street in Kings Mountain, online at ipdnc.com. Like them on Facebook too.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Assault with Kevin and the gang.
So, welcome back to the broadcast. We got some NBA. It's kind of the dead season in sports right now. So we got a little bit of fun tweets, a little bit of this and that, some random stuff to talk about. I thank Brent for being here this morning. I'll go through and like a bunch of tweets and other stuff and through the week and find some interesting stuff to talk about. We was talking to Michael a minute ago. We'll talk a little bit more about him. Here's a Barkley story about Barkley when he was with the Rockets. Asked Michael if this is the last time we play against each other. Can I have your shoes? And Michael said, yes, I'll put 45 on there because that's how many points I'm going to put on your head tomorrow. So here's the game with Ahmad Rashad reporting. Remember, this is near the end of their career. Zach, you can hit it.
Michael, what a move! Wow.
I had the pleasure of going to dinner with two of the best friends in the NBA, Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan. Now, as you can imagine, that the main course was a large helping of trash talk, and Charles saying that there's no way that Michael would beat him today, and Michael going back the other way. But the crowning moment on the whole evening was when Charles finally broke down and said, Michael, in case this is the last time we play against each other, can I have your shoes? Michael said, yes, you can have my shoes. I'll even put number 45 on there. He said, but that's your number. He said, yeah, but that's how many points I'm going to give you tomorrow.
Jordan on the other end, watch the fake. He'll give him the fake, turn and the fade, and the elevation.
Here's Charles Barkley with a little love tap for Michael Jordan. Elion Jordan. 20 for Michael.
And Michael's going to go like he's going to get a handoff. boom, little back cut, gives him a little shove, steps back and shoots the jump shot. How easy it is for the great ones.
And Drexler open Jordan. The beginning of the game. Jordan, 32 plus a foul. Jordan on the run, off the glass, 35. 2 minutes. Jordan with 38.
For 3 years, and to see the way this man plays the game,
There's 40.
it's incredible. I mean, I don't even know what you say about the guy.
Now, you promised Charles Barkley his shoes. Are you giving them to him?
Oh, yeah, he can get them. I'm going to certainly put the score on the side of it, though, because the last thing he said last night that, we may have 5 championships, but he want the last win if that so happens to be the last one.
All right, Michael. Congratulations to you.
So there's Michael. That's before they weren't buddies anymore. Now they're not friends anymore.
What was the deal? I was going to ask about that. What happened with them falling out?
He criticized Jordan's horrible ownership. He just called it like it was.
I was about to say.
The one thing I regret is not seeing the player owner for the Hornets.
For
Charlotte.
translate for him.
If he was
a great player, does not a good owner make.
Well, let me put it this way though.
He and Isaiah are both proof of that.
Let me put it this way. Isaiah's had some success.
He was decent with Toronto.
Not enough to keep him.
No,
Michael's if he was coaching, well, again, think about where Isaiah was. If Michael was owner of, say, the Lakers or a big time organization, we got to remember he was owning the Hornets and the Wizards. Like we're not talking about like Celtics and Lakers here. That's a Rasheed one. We'll get to
But that being said, I mean, John Paxson's been with the Bulls. Why did they not bring him back to Chicago, for crying out loud?
Oh, they don't like each other. Well, they didn't. Krause and all of them, they didn't like.
But I mean, Krause isn't there anymore.
I know he's dead. Reinsdorf still owns the team though.
But I thought Reinsdorf and Jordan still got along decently.
No, sir. No, sir.
And I guess when you're the greatest, you don't have to worry about what bridges you burn. But
so Michael earned $94 million in his career. In the next 2 seasons, LeBron will get paid $110 million. The Celtic starters, guys, added up over the next 6 years, $1 billion. Yeah. Like, there's so much money that
inflation, man.
That like, well, the NBA guys get to split it up between 12, 15 people. You know, the NFL and everybody, and baseball guys split it up between, 25 or 50 or 60 or whatever it is. But
if you want to make the money right now, NBA is the place to be.
And they're getting money funneled into them.
Or make the most money, I should say.
That's why they can pay them.
How much did you say Jordan made?
$94 million.
So and that last year, he was what? What was his last year, Kevin?
30.
Yeah, it was really, yeah.
Like, those the last 2 or 3 years he made that because he had to fight for the 30.
Yeah.
I showed they showed a clip this past, I saw on Facebook this past week. Like, they showed the team salary for the Bulls. And, like, Jordan's at 33. And, like, nobody else.
Pitbull's like 2 or 3 or 4.
Nobody else is. I mean, everybody's like less, like $5 million or less.
And they did the same thing with Kobe, in his last couple years. And his numbers aren't even that. He was like 20-something million, I think, in his last couple years.
Here's Zach, you'll like this one. This is
Steve Smith.
This involves 2 of my favorite people in the world, Rasheed Wallace and Arvydas Sabonis. And I even have Arvydas here with us in the studio here. He's not your Vitas, Chip.
He's Arvydas? He's
not my Vitas. He's Arvydas.
I wish we could have seen him in his prime.
You're watching him. His name's Nikola Jokic.
Yeah,
that's exactly exactly what you're watching.
I think he may have beat us for a gold medal at one point.
He did. Yeah. He is the reason that we put the pros. So Brent nailed it. He's the reason the 84 Olympics we got waxed because we couldn't do nothing with this man right here. Arvydas Sabonis destroyed us in the Olympics, and we said no more. No more of that. So that's when Jordan and everybody showed up at 92. But yes, Brent is correct. Now here's a story of Rasheed Wallace. There is a cuss word. It is beeped out. So talking about Arvydas and Zach, kind of a little comparison to Andre the Giant here, basically.
So Sabonis is a
good dude.
I would probably say out of any other big I played with, he was the best passer.
Oh,
hands down.
Hands down.
Hands down.
That's Bonzi Wells.
That's what I
You better be looking at that when he got the ball. That hey, it's going to hit you in your face, the back of your head, something like that. If you're not looking at him, but he gonna get he gonna get you that rock. He was fine, because Sabonis is a monster.
Good dude, though, gentle giant.
Don't drink with him.
My Lord.
I feel like it'd be your last time drinking anything.
You will have instant liver and kidney failure.
Yeah. I watched this man drink a whole bottle, and he just did this all night.
I seen him in deadlift strength take down a Magnum bottle.
The big boy. Right? The big fat boy.
The tall boy in the night.
Huh? That's real. That's love of the game.
They playing a different game.
They play a different game.
Don't drink. Play with. He was the best passer.
I love Rasheed. I can listen to anything that he does. But talking about the passing and stuff, Brent. When I play pickups, I do that. I throw a lot of passes like that. I tell guys I haven't played with, you better have your eyes up, because if you get an inch open, I'm going to be firing at your head. So be ready for it. So that's what I've threw a few off people's back of their heads before. And that's what he's talking about. And y'all, if you're watching, for the folks listening on the radio, well, if you're watching, we do have the show is on YouTube every Saturday. But Arvidas would, and he's 7'3" firing balls.
Yeah.
Golly.
He was good.
Some guys, and so Brent, you play basketball. Some guys aren't ready for the passes, and it's aggravating, isn't it?
Yeah, just ask Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. What are you doing? You're wide open. Why aren't you ready for the ball? Like that would drive me crazy. Like,
here's what's driving me crazy. Jordan made 94 in his career. Franz Wagner just signed a 5-year deal for $224 million.
That's the one that comes up. They keep coming up with these guys that I don't even know who they are, and they're getting like multi-million dollar. I mean, it's ridiculous.
So Brent, I've been making the point the past few years is that the game's going to change, because the guys that you used to require to do the dirty work are getting paid more than Michael Jordan.
I know.
Like Bill Laimbeer is getting the guys that are supposed to hustle and die for the loose balls and fight and elbow people. Now Brent, if you tell me that I need to die for that ball and this elbow is worth $30 million, am I diving for that ball? That's what I'm saying. Like, where are all the hustlers going to come from? Where are all the hard working players that are going to be diving on balls come from? If Cody Zeller's making $27 million, the 10th man and averaging 2 points a game, like honestly, Jordan should just come back now. He could average 15 a game and get paid more than he ever made. It's insane how much they're getting on this. All right.
Well, if this makes you feel better.
Oh, God. No, it don't.
Michael Jordan's inflation-adjusted earnings.
Oh, my God.
How much you think? You want to throw a number out?
It's all make-believe anyway.
Well, adjusted for inflation is a legitimate thing.
1,000%.
His inflation-adjusted earnings of $3.75 billion.
Wow.
So that's the question I have. I just saw a $275.
No, but say that one real quick. They tell you that, Chip. But if you gave me $30 million in 1998, and I kept $30 million in my mattress, it's worth how much today?
That's why you got invested.
No, wait a minute. See, wait a minute. That's what I said. This inflation stuff's tricky, because now it's not worth $30 million. It's worth about $10 million or $5 million instead of the $300 billion that inflation adjusted tells you. I'm like,
that's why gold is always better than our paper tender.
Oh gosh, here we go.
Because gold.
If he had put, well, you just said invest, Chip. If he had put $30 million in gold under his mattress, would it be worth more than that paper?
Absolutely,
he put under there 30 years ago.
100%.
Depends on what he invested.
My favorite.
No, he had gold bars
and paper. That's what we're talking
about.
And
then the gold bars then and the gold bars now. The gold bars now would be worth more, and the paper would be worth the same.
Right. So, but here,
always invest in gold.
Brent, my favorite, and Tom hates this comparison. Is the in 1995, let's say gas was, I don't even know what it was, $1.50. Let's say that. King Griffey Jr. card was worth $100.
Mm-hmm.
So I could buy 25 gallons of gas.
Tom hates it.
With one King Griffey Jr. card. Now, with gas at $3.50 and the Griffey Junior card only worth $75. Now I can only buy like 10 gallons of gas of King Griffey with a King Griffey Junior card. That's where you see.
And I had that card thinking it was going to wind up being a mantle or something. It devalued.
Well,
they saturated the market.
They did. There was too many of that one.
We can talk about that a little bit. All right, a couple more basketball before we get out of here. All right, so this was one of the questions, and you know, Zach, you and me will bring this up. This is them showing up some dream teams. You got I don't even know the dream team, the redeem team, and the Avengers team. Well, the redeem team are the redeem team because they won a bronze medal because the bronze was on their team and they couldn't beat. They got beat by Manu Ginobili and his friends from.
They had to put Kobe on the next team because they didn't have a winning mentality.
But they've got Patrick Ewing and Karl Malone and Bird starting on this team. Bird was too hurt to start.
If Bird's healthy.
That's the thing. Are we measuring?
It says in their prime.
But
I'm not taking Patrick over.
He's not better than David Robinson.
No.
And Karl Malone is not better
than
Charles Barkley.
Charles led the league.
Yeah, they
led the
dream team.
Yep.
He was their enforcer.
Robinson and the starters were Pippen, Barkley, and Robinson on that team because Bird was hurt and Barkley and Robinson are. The fact they even put Malone and Ewing in there is just stupid.
That's somebody that's a millennial.
It's a Nick. No, it's a New York Nick.
That didn't
From
watch
somebody
him.
from New York.
Yeah.
Karl Malone's got the most points ever. He's better than Barkley. We'll put him on there, but whatever. But anyway, Barkley led both the first two dream teams in scoring, is what Zach was talking about. So Brett, you had Arvydas Sabonis tear us apart, and then we said we're bringing the pros, and then we unleashed Barkley on their heads. Everybody's like, we unleashed Jordan. We did, but we didn't have to.
Everybody knew. Everybody.
And that was the easiest tournament Jordan ever played.
And that's, you know, of all the discussions we have about, and I know people hate to hear this, but all the discussions we have about Draymond Green and Barkley, that shuts the whole conversation down. He led the dream team with those guys on. Draymond wouldn't even get off the bench.
That's not a comparison.
Right. So Brent, are you a Hornets fan? I think so, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Barkley
Chip,
was.
Are you a Hornets fan?
Yeah. I mean, it's not. They're not my.
But you're not like a Nuggets fan or Spurs or anything like that, are you?
No. I mean, I would honestly.
I'm a Hornets fan and then fan of players.
Gotcha.
Like I love Steph Curry.
I'm a 93 Hornets fan.
I root for our local team, but then once Jordan retired, I kind of lost my favorite team.
All right, so we may or may not. Well, I'm probably gonna make some folks mad this week.
Well, how's that any different than any other week?
This week, the retirement was announced of former Charlotte Hornet Kemba Walker.
Oh yeah,
I did see that.
Yeah,
and so he's joining the club as an assistant coach, some player development, something I don't know. But of course, that brought up the big arguments and of you talking to people that are 12 years old. Kimba's the greatest Hornet ever. Let's put a statue out there. Let's retire his number. Hornets only have one retired number, Bobby Fields. I've never retired anyone for any accomplishments.
Can I back? Okay. Fill me in on why Bobby Fields is number.
He got killed. He died.
He got killed in that car wreck.
Oh yes. Thank you.
He was drag racing with David Wesley.
He was a very good ball player, but not a retired.
He would never had his
not a retired jersey ball
died.
player.
Put it that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Sam Mills wouldn't have been lionized the way he was if he didn't have cancer.
he
was
in peace,
good.
but,
he was really good, but
Yeah.
he's not the best linebacker they've ever had or anything like that. Well, he got in the Hall of Fame because
These
of
were
that.
those B
That's
players.
That's the one I was with Sam.
He
Mills.
played
That's
well
why
with the Saints.
He was very. I liked him with the Saints.
Yeah.
But I never thought he was a Hall of Fame linebacker. When they're arguing in borderline, I don't know if anybody ever like. I always think when someone says Hall of Fame, I'm like, are you one of the best in the league? And I don't know if anybody ever in the league was like, damn, that Sam Mills is better than Lawrence Taylor. I don't know if I ever said that. But anyway, where was we on?
You were talking about Kemba.
So Kemba retired this week. So big argument about him having his jersey retired. Hornets haven't retired anyone for any accomplishments. They've never made it out of the second round. Last team to make it in the second round
there could be an argument to be
the
made.
90s Hornets.
There could be an argument to be made. You have to have some accomplishments to be able to.
Correct.
It's got to be grandmama.
So that was some of the arguments, Brent, about like if they're retiring people, who are they retiring? So Kimba's the all-time leading scorer. He broke Del Curry's record, but nobody.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And here's the thing with these scoring records, like you said, Karl Malone. Nobody was arguing Karl Malone was one of the best players ever, and he was second all-time leading scorer.
Yeah.
Nobody was arguing that Del Curry was the greatest Hornet ever,
That was a longevity.
It was.
stat.
Right, and then and
he was a fan favorite.
How many good players stay in Charlotte more than?
And he was an original
17 years.
Well,
So
and here
longevity.
To Brent's point too. If you're going to retire people if you're talking about retiring people right now, and all right, Kemba's he's up for discussion. He had a great career. I would argue his only good parts of his career with Charlotte, and probably the wisest decision that Michael Jordan made as an owner in his front office was not re-signing him, because his career went south after he left Charlotte. But you consider him, but the faces when you think and I think still to this day, when you think Charlotte Hornets, you think of Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson, and I would say Muggsy Bogues.
Oh, absolutely, Muggsy.
Now, was Muggsy? He was not a consistent All-Star. Was he? Did he ever make an All-Star team?
Give me 2 seconds. I'll be able to answer that.
I mean, and obviously
I thought he made one.
He's a
but I
fan.
might be wrong.
He's a fan favorite, and he's endeared to the city of Charlotte. I get that, but would his number being retired, would that be kind of a novelty thing because of obviously overcoming?
My argument would be, Chip, on that was with anyone that you retire for the Charlotte Hornets is a novelty.
No, there you go.
Like when you said, have they accomplished anything?
Yeah.
So if you are retiring numbers, the Miami Heat don't have anybody numbers retired except Michael Jordan's, by the way. I don't know if y'all knew that.
Where's Rex Chapman in this conversation?
No, he's still in.
What about Kelly Tripucka?
Don't forget, we traded Alonzo for a very good Hornet, Glenn Rice.
So,
well, forget about Glenn Rice. And Alonzo's my favorite all time.
Hey, don't
but
forget,
Glenn Rice is a close second.
Don't forget what B.J. Armstrong did to Jordan in that one game.
So before you get I took my wife to a game. She is a Bulls fan because she's from outside Chicago, and BJ's sitting on the bench. She's like, "Go, BJ!" I said, "He's on the bench, honey. Be quiet."
Well, don't scream that either.
Oh yeah,
true.
Shut up, honey.
I'm out.
Yeah, he's on the bench, honey. Be quiet.
Muggsy's 3 best years in Charlotte, he averaged 10-8, 10-10, 11-8. Assists per year were 10, 8, 9, 8, 10, 8. Pretty good from a 5'3".
He was just he made the Space Jam. I mean,
right.
Right. On Space Jam.
So
Him and Larry.
So did Sean Bradley.
my top.
Shame on you, Chip.
Shouldn't have pointed that out. Sean Bradley was a beast.
My top 3 nominations for retired jerseys, and I think those 3 have their own arguments. Like Chip said, it's all novelty at this point of how you want to take it. But my top 3 before I even get to Kemba Walker is Muggsy, is Glenn Rice, and is Larry Johnson. Now, Zach's favorite is though he only played 4 years and he asked to leave. Anybody that asked to leave and wanted to leave for a year, they can just piss on off.
And he's mine, but I agree with you 100%.
He only played 3. He only played 3 years.
He was drafted 92.
As soon as his rookie contract was going to be over, he was out.
But
they wouldn't pay him. I think they wouldn't pay him $10 million is what he asked for.
But here's the thing, Larry Johnson. I tend to agree with you. That's a novelty pick. He made 2 All-Star teams.
Right, Larry. He's an All-Star.
He was Rookie of the Year.
He's 4th all-time leading scorer. So famous-wise, Muggsy and him are the 2 most famous ever by far. I mean, and they were both in Space. They were both in Space Jam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they both were in Space Jam, Larry and Muggsy.
But Larry was in it. He was with the Knicks by the time he got.
I think he might have been. But Grandmama was, I don't know, Chip, if you know this, was invented by a charitable elementary school teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he had to sue
because they stole it
Adidas because he sent in the idea. They told him thanks, no thanks.
And then it shows up.
A few months later, they're filming Larry Johnson in a dress at Dallas Gym right down the road from here. Oh, my gosh. And so he ended up suing over that. So my charitable 5th grade teacher invented Grandmama, the idea and everything. So
wow.
A lot. And so the fact that, like I said, if you're doing famous and best player, it's Larry Johnson as the most famous best player they've ever had. If you're doing the best player they've ever had, to me, is Glenn Rice, and it's not close. If you're doing the most famous, most important Hornet of all time, it's definitely Muggsy. The young kids say Kemba, but Muggsy's way ahead for our generation. It ain't even close to me. And he's the famous person. I think he's the most famous Hornet ever in the world. Yeah. Then after those 4,
he's the Steve Smith of the Hornets.
Then you got Kemba, but like I get Kemba is all-time leading scorer, but he ain't better than Baron Davis. He's not better.
That's 100%.
Like, how do you retire his number and he's not even the best point guard ever that's ever played for him? So, like, hey, let's put you up. You're not the best point guard. You never won a playoff series. For the most part, to me, all he was a ball hog, but that was my viewpoint on it. Now, I like him. He's a good guy and everything, but to me, he's somewhere around 5 through 10 on where I would start retiring numbers. And I don't where y'all would have him as far as is that. Chip?
Say that again.
Where would you place
I got him.
Kemba?
I got like 4 or 5 people before I would retire before I would get to him. I wouldn't even get to Kemba before. I'd definitely have Larry, Glenn Rice, and Muggsy, Baron Davis. Then maybe I'll hear an argument for Zoe at that point, but 3 years is really tough for me. And I don't think Baron and Glenn Rice barely played forward. But Glenn Rice, his argument, guys, he won the All-Star MVP with Michael Jordan on the floor.
Sure did.
The Charlotte Hornets had a All-Star MVP with Jordan on the floor.
I wouldn't disagree with you. I think I it's hard for me not to put Kemba in the top 5, but I'm not saying that he needs to be top 3. No, I would not have him in my top 3, but I think
there's a lot of talk for Del Curry and Gerald Wallace. There's 2 and 3 in the top score. I didn't know
Del
Gerald
Curry,
Wallace was
Gerald
third.
Wallace, I can't put in there because I'm just not a Gerald Wallace fan.
Del Curry, yes.
I know for a fact Brett could outshoot Gerald Wallace left-handed right now. Like that is the worst. Him and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
That's
If you
exactly
ever
who I
wanted
was
your
thinking
eyes
about when
to
you
bleed,
said that. That's
if you ever wanted
exactly who I
your eyes
was
to
thinking
bleed, and
about.
just Brent, you and me would wax them
Yeah.
too.
They are the
In a
exact same
shooting
player.
contest. But like, oh God, it's such awful. I went and watched one of his games. I just remember watching, and he bricked like 7 in a row, and it was just they weren't even close. It was bad. But he played defense, he played hard. But Terry Rozier's 5th all-time leading scorer.
And he had,
and he wasn't even a starter half the time.
the problem is it's not that hard to move up the all-time scoring list of the Charlotte Hornets.
And
I'm
you
sorry.
see this if you ever play the
Muggsy's
games
7th.
where it's got
Muggsy's
the
7th.
when you play the games on the PlayStation, it's got the all-time Hornets and they got Kenny Gaddison sitting on the bench.
Oh yeah.
That's all right. That's where he was. That's where he was when he actually was playing.
Well, everybody also forgets the people that didn't play long that were good. We had the best like sub-level shooting guard, small forwards. We had Eddie Jones.
Yeah,
and
I liked Eddie.
And you had David Wesley out there.
You want to know the problem with our
another good ball
franchise?
player.
You want to know the problem with our
and
franchise?
Jamal Mashburn. It's in Charlotte.
Twice, Jamal came twice.
The problem with the Charlotte Hornets franchise is the best player that we ever had the rights to in franchise history never played a game with us.
He wouldn't have played a game
We
with us.
traded him for Vlade Frappin Diva.
All-time assist leader.
He said he was going to go play overseas if anybody got him with the Lakers.
Yeah.
But we probably could have got more from.
That was like the John Elway from the Colts to the Broncos trade. That was
If we knew what we knew.
Oh God, yeah, you got that right.
And it took him a couple years to develop.
Larry Johnson was still playing for the Hornets in Space Jam because I
thought
think
he was.
one of the games that the aliens takes him is Muggsy, Larry Johnson, and Sean Bradley are all in the same court. That's what it was.
Well, Muggsy is 25th
Or you
all
in one
time in assist. Now, that's now. Let's see where he was when he retired. Count the people that played
that are
after
playing,
him.
yeah.
You ready? Kyle Lowry, Tony Parker. Those played with him. Rajon Rondo, James Harden, Andre Miller, Russell Westbrook. Nash, does that count afterwards, I guess?
Yeah.
LeBron, Chris Paul, and then
Jason Kidd was too.
he was in the 90s.
And you got to think too that
So he was. I think I remember when he was retired. It was like 15th. I think in all times assists, something like that.
that magic number was 10 a game. You average 10 in that era, and Muggsy hung around that. So,
well, the only person ever over 10 is Magic and Stockton. Magic Johnson averaged 11 assists a game, y'all.
How many did Oscar Robertson average?
9.5. He is third.
But he did average
on the
a
list.
triple-double for a whole
Like,
season.
Yeah.
Well, no, what it was, it was like he did it. Yes, Brent. But there was one stat where they put it. There was like over 3 years that he did it. If you started at a certain point and went, but it didn't count, for that or whatever.
kind of like those majors when you don't win them all in the same year.
Well, there's your top
The
assist.
Tiger Slam.
Yeah.
There's your top assist ever. Only 16 people have ever averaged 8 assists in their careers. Only 7 have averaged 9. One person there at number 7, nobody ever talks about anymore.
Kevin, you read my mind. I was like, man, how underrated was he?
I loved him back in the day.
He was awesome.
John
Wall
he had a pretty cool.
list.
He had a pretty cool shoe out too. Kevin Johnson, if you remember Kevin Johnson.
John Wall is the king of driving to the hole and dumping it off to a big man for like he drives and goes for his layup or dunk. If it's not there, he would just drop it off to one of the big men, and he's the king of those assists.
So
I'm actually glad John Stockton.
Kind of like what Russell Westbrook little played.
I'm glad John Stockton is second on this list. And then look, Magic Johnson is phenomenal. I can't dismiss that. But I'm one of probably the few people who my all-time starting 5 I would pick the Big O as my point guard instead of Magic. And yes, Magic obviously statistically is the best passer per game that we've ever seen. But that Stockton's not better than Oscar Robertson. I don't think anybody would make that argument.
Probably not.
So
here's the name up there. The original Showtime Laker point guard before Magic was drafted.
Norm Nixon.
Number 11.
Oh yeah,
Norm Nixon.
And then people forget Isaiah. We know how much of a score he was, but look where he's at there.
Well, I was about to break Chip's heart for a second, maybe, or someone's heart. No, not breaking Chip's heart. We Stockton, me and Zach got, we come up with on our wrestling, the Mount Rushmore. Mm-hmm. So we got Mount Pass Less, which is the backside of Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
So you got it. So you got Rush and Pass and More and Less. So on the front side is Magic and Oscar and Isaiah and Steph Curry. Now, who's on Mount Pass Less? You got to have Stockton, who's the steals and all-time steals and assist leader. But then, who's the next 3? You got Kidd, Nash, Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple-Double himself, KJ you just mentioned, Chris Paul. Trae Young's now averaging 9.5 assists while shooting threes all over the place.
It's hard to not have Jason Kidd on there. Jason Kidd was a not quite as flashy, more fundamentally sound white chocolate.
Is that your nomination? Brent, who's your nomination for Mount Pay Less? No, that's Calvin.
Okay. Ooh, I would say
that's your dad.
Gosh, on that list, Mark Jackson.
Jackson, he was. Where's he at all time? Somewhere. He's 17th. No, that's per game. 17th per game. I think he's like top any third or fourth or fifth all time total though. He's somewhere up there in the all time totals. Zach. And here's what's funny. You start looking at that list, you're like, why do they deserve to be on there? Zach, we've talked about this. Point guards don't lead to championships.
No.
Look at that list. Almost none of them have championships.
I like Rondo.
Does Magic get it without Kareem? Does Oscar get it without Kareem? Both of them.
You got to say Isaiah was the best player on his team.
Exactly.
Won back-to-back.
Mm-hmm. So Brent, there's only three point guards in NBA history have led their team in scoring and won an NBA Finals.
He's got to be one.
Magic is one of them.
Okay.
He did it one time. Isaiah is one of them. He did it one time. Joe Dumars was the other one. Mm-hmm. And Steph Curry is the only one. So only 3 times in the history of the NBA, a 6'9" freak, a 3-point shooting freak in Steph Curry, and then, well, it has to be the most underrated point guard nobody ever talks about because Michael didn't like him. Isaiah Thomas, 1, 2.
No,
he's got to be the best.
That's
little
not
point
true.
guard.
But Jordan himself, and he says it in The Last Dance. He's like, I respect Isaiah Thomas' skill.
No, he don't.
Yeah, he's like Magic Johnson.
They hate each other.
Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard of all time, but I put Isaiah right after him. That's
and how much of a modifier should you give Isaiah for how small he was versus Magic?
True.
Is that not fair?
Yeah.
I mean,
he was so competitive. He would fight you. He would fight you.
He went to Indiana.
Fight you.
He went to Indiana under Bobby Knight for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like Luke on here too, though. I don't want it is early. It is early.
He goes. Look,
but he's going to put you 30 and give you 10 assists.
Jordan kept himself. This goes back to the argument Kevin brought up at the first of the show. Jordan, with all of his work, had to work out as intensely as he did because of his off the court antics to stay in game shape.
Jackson was 6th in the season.
What could Luka do if the poor guy would just get himself into shape?
And I know Terry's not here, but what do y'all think about Rondo?
Real quick on Luka. Rondo, he's
get
him off there.
I do have to say one
he's a
thing
good
about
passer.
Isaiah. As Isaiah played in an era where they averaged about 90 points a game too, versus now where they're scoring 130. And
That's the other thing. Like looking at somebody's all-time scoring stat, Kimba's all-time scoring stats, because he started to get on the beginning of this high-scoring league, so to speak. It's kind of like trying to compare quarterbacks in passing yards, like Drew Brees to Dan Marino. It's different. It's a different. If Dan Marino in his prime was playing in today's league, he'd have 40,000 yards. I mean, he'd have.
It'd be unreal.
He'd have 100,000.
You almost got to sectionalize them.
Yeah.
Compartmentalize them, however you want to call it.
I still like comparing
for,
them. Everybody's
for
like,
different eras.
People are like
Jordan agrees with it. You know, you got to look at it from different. It's just different.
I like comparing them, and I like trying to have the conversations that you can't compare. Well, you can, but you
can compare.
There needs to be. You just got to have the disclaimer, the understanding of trying to compare stat for stat.
And
there's
we also
a challenge.
don't know. There, people say if LeBron had played in Jordan's, when he goes down the lane and Jordan gets just destroyed by Lambeer,
LeBron would have broke a leg.
But we don't know. LeBron may have relished that and dunked over you. I don't know.
Yeah, because
here's what I do know.
Really relishes contact.
Here's what I do know. He's a poor free throw shooter, and teams would have put him on the line and made him shoot free throws as opposed to.
True. But he may have improved. He may have worked on that.
I know it helped for Shaq, right?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, so.
Well, he was like throwing a ping pong ball.
Yeah, it's like basically having.
Well, I'm gonna say this, Brent. I will not give Shaq a pass on that because Yao Ming could shoot free throws, and if Yao Ming, who's bigger than Shaq, can do it,
yeah, but he had small hands.
Oh God! If Yao Ming can do it, Shaq can do it, and Shaq left off like 10,000 points.
Yeah,
that's
a lot.
On free throws. Now, and here's my thing, and here's why, why I do not give Shaq the credit, and why he didn't win championships. I think because of the free throw, is because down the stretch, you found Jordan. He's going to hit 8 of 9 of 10 free throws. You couldn't do that. They have to take him off the court. If your coach has to take you off the court,
give it to Kobe.
Like you should be able to give it to him. Everybody foul him. He's going to free throw line. Bye y'all. If Yao had Shaq's aggressiveness, he would be he could be the GOAT. And if Shaq had his fundamentals, he could. But
What if Yao was never hurt? Like, what would we talk about him if he never got hurt? How big of this guy was?
Well, you can't measure part of basketball lore in terms of measuring the greatest of all time. You can't do that. What Kevin just mentioned. You're going to have in a safe location.
He parked at my house.
I walked.
Trolley.
But if you're going to put somebody in the argument for greatest of all time, we all know, and one of the trump cards, no pun intended, one of the trump cards, but that for MJ is when you get to crunch time at the end of the game, who are you giving the ball to? Jordan, there was no question. Everybody on his team knew it. The offense was facilitating through him. Kobe, same thing. LeBron, trying to do that.
Larry Bird.
Bird. Wilt. Again, different era, but the game and the offense was designed around these guys. Shaq.
You're not giving.
You can't do that. You can't do it.
Let's see. All right, it's about time to take another break. Here, JP's been in the back, ready to rock. Let's see if he's working back. Let's check on the JP cams. He working hard?
Oh, look at that. He's ready.
He stood up, started moving.
He
really quick.
He very quickly put his phone down.
Put those Pokemon cards down.
All right, so I don't think I thought I had one more. I lost it. There we go. Here we go. See if I had any more on the basketball. Yeah, I just wanted to ask about the Kimba stuff and see what you got to think about. Zach, we got some fun Panther stuff to talk about here.
Anthony,
I'm glad we do because we ain't got nothing fun to talk about.
That's an oxymoron nowadays, isn't it?
A bunch of
who's going to be the first
stuff.
$1 billion player like that signs $1 billion contract?
Shohei Ohtani.
This will be basketball, I guess.
I mean, Tatum signed what, $350 million?
Yeah, it was 3.
It's going to be a little.
That's
while.
more than Jordan paid for the Hornets. It was like $290, I think, wasn't it?
So think about that. But
And that's what I'm talking about. Like,
it's exponential.
What did he sell him for? His return on investment was phenomenal.
1.2.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, JP, we'll be back in a few minutes.
Lot of rounds of golf and cigars.
KDCBroadcasting.com.
For over 56 years, Love's Fish Box has been serving this area with the finest in seafood, and the tradition continues today. You'll enjoy great food in their rustic dining room. Bring the family out. There's something for everyone on the menu, from fish to chicken to steak to salad, sandwiches, and more. Try their after 4 p.m. specials with all the trimmings. On Tuesday, Alaskan white for $7.95. Wednesday, beef tips $10.95. Thursdays, hamburger steak $7.95. Love's Fish Box, 1104 Shelby Road, Highway 74 Business West, Kings Mountain. Online at lovesfishbox.net and like them on Facebook too. Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks in Lowell is always hiring. You need a job? There's one waiting for you at Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks in Lowell. And also right now, Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks, they're looking for barbecue eaters. That's right, barbecue eaters. Plus, they have chicken, steaks, ribs, all kinds of sides and salads. And of course, they do catering. Ask about their party packs at Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks, 305 South Main Street in Lowell. Yum, yum. Y'all come.
Spring is the perfect time to play golf at the Crowders Mountain Golf Course at the foot of beautiful Crowders Mountain. Play and ride 18 Monday through Friday for $30 and just $27 after 1 p.m. And play and ride on weekends and holidays for just $40 and just $35 after 1 p.m. Ladies' Day is Monday. Ladies play and ride on Mondays for $20, and seniors play and ride Monday through Friday for $27 at the Crowders Mountain Golf Course, 255 Lincoln Academy Road in Kings Mountain. For your tee time, call 704-739-7681.
Hey, we've got a phone number you need to write down. It's 704-898-3163. Again, 704-898-3163. That's the phone number for Minuteman Mechanical, Cherryble's heating and cooling experts. Veteran owned and operated by Grant Cliff. They feature quality craftsmanship with honest pricing. Keep warm in the winter and cool in the summer with one call. That's Minuteman Mechanical, 704-898-3163. Call for a free estimate today online at MinutemanMechanical.com and like them on Facebook too. Thinking about buying or selling land in Western North Carolina? Specializing in hunting land, farmland, and country homes, Whitetail Properties land specialists Chip Camp and Chris Weaver are ready to help. Visit whitetailproperties.com for more information or give Chip a call at 704-473-3833 or Chris at 704-692-6185 or visit the new office at 4811 Falston Road in Falston. Hunting land, farmland, and country homes is their specialty. Call today. Mark your calendar, August 16th and 17th for the 32nd annual Hot Nights Cool Rides Car Show, downtown Forest City. Thousands flock into town with over 400 cars, trucks, and motorcycles and 80 different car classes. This special event is one of the largest in the Southeast and is sponsored by the Forest City Merchants Association and the town of Forest City. There will be a cruise-in Friday night, August 16th with the Ocean Boulevard Band playing at the Forest City Pavilion on Park Square. The free Hot Nights Cool Rides Car Show starts Saturday morning at 9 a.m. and goes until 8 p.m. For more information, go to townofforestcity.com.
And we're back on Saturday More Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. They're going to be talking about some more sports.
Thank you, JP. You're awesome.
You just need a recording of that.
I know.
JP.
Yeah.
You just hit the
Even
button.
when
And he can still be laid back in his seat.
Yeah, even when I'm not here, y'all need to have like a cardboard cutout of me just in the video. I'm like,
JP, how long have you been working here?
oh, good Lord. I started in fall of 2016 as an intern.
The question is, how many times has he been fired?
Every other Saturday.
Too many times to count.
Well, thanks, JP, for hanging in there with
That's
us.
right,
Today's this week was Bobby Bonilla week. Bonilla was paid, 59-year-old, $1.19 million, and his deal still goes through 2035.
Said he made more money this year than Brock Purdy.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, we're
He
about
got sacked less times too.
Here's something even more fun. How much? What did it say he made? 1.1 million.
Yeah, 1.19.
So Bonilla would rank 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15th highest paid Met.
Not to be outdone. Don't forget about Griffey. Griffey's still getting paid by the Reds. We've done that.
That's it. Wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at him.
There you go.
Griffey Jr. is the 5th
Woo!
Highest paid
Favorite player all
Cincinnati
time.
Red this year. So think about your payrolls and where your money's at, what your team's doing. Why can't my team afford an outfielder? Because we're still paying King Griffey Jr. He's the fifth.
Apparently, they can't afford an outfielder.
He's probably better than what they got.
He's the fifth highest paid Red.
They just swept the Yankees, man. All right, give me a break.
And Bobby Bonilla is the 15th highest paid New York Met.
How long does Griffey's deferred payments run till?
It was a couple more years, I thought.
Okay.
It doesn't say.
I mean, we looked at it.
But Bonilla gets 20-35.
Yeah.
You won't be.
But you had to bet on yourself
You
not
may
to
not
die,
be
too.
alive.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
59.
exactly what I was
Well,
saying.
that's
You had to
kinda
bet on
what the
yourself
Mets
not
are
to
hoping,
die.
I bet. I mean,
They don't.
seriously.
Mall people still don't work with them, do they?
Well, I mean, it's the same mentality the government has with Social Security. They're just hoping just like government not smart enough to speaking of inflation, they're not smart enough to tie Social Security payments to the age that it was, to the expected life expectancy.
Maybe that's how they're going to beat Medicare.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We
I wonder if Tom's still listening. I gotta save this here for this week. That's a good Ohio joke and a soccer joke. I had two for him this week that I had saved up for him. I got to skip those two then. Let's see if we got any more baseball. Here's what do you guys think about this? And I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to hear. July 4th, not one single national televised Major League Baseball game.
What in the world?
Christmas has NBA and, NFL, they do their
Baseball's
things.
supposed to be the national pastime.
Why
Not
is
anymore.
July 4th not a day where, like, everybody's cooking out and, you can turn the TV on, like
American
Thanksgiving,
pastime.
and you turn the TV on and there's all-day baseball from
Well,
some
we
network.
had-
ESPN's got 9 networks.
Well, we had Legion Baseball.
Well, we're just talking Major League national television games,
Wow.
and that's what. Of course, there were some
They do it at
localized teams, but like
The basketball's at Christmas. Your football's at Thanksgiving. You think that'd be a money revenue?
And NFL, apparently NFL, if what I've read correctly, they're going to start doing more Christmas games, I think, as well. No matter the day of the week, I think they're going to focus on that, or at least do one or two games. Try to if they can.
But it's just such an easy day to
It
have
is.
baseball on TV, and you go in and you
Why
can
is
see
and-
whatever game the Fox or
I'm not
ESPN
dismissing
or whoever
Memorial
it is.
Day because generally, or in the beginning of April, but I think Memorial Day they do baseball heavy weekend, and I think that's great. Why not do it for July 4th? They should have three games scheduled.
Especially a lot of these teams. Again, I'm at a market. You're at a market as a Tigers fan. I never get to see the Cardinals hardly.
Yeah.
So when they are on TV, I'll watch them. So like that day, July 4th, I think should be a national baseball.
ESPN
playoff day.
never broadcast the Yankees.
Mike Trout has not played on July. Mike Trout hasn't even played on July 4th this decade.
Wow.
In the 2020s, he has not been available since 2019.
But he's usually not in the playoffs either.
On July 4th.
Yes.
His Trout season
Never
ends.
been playing October.
Trout season ends July 1st every year.
He's got to get back to Philly to root the Eagles on. Come October.
All right, Mr. Yankees fan.
Uh-huh.
Did you see this mess?
Oh gosh, the whole
holding up before he scored here.
Yeah.
Y'all see this,
3
Brent?
weeks is done.
So watch this, Dodo. Yeah, you're an idiot. You're paid a lot of money, but you're an idiot. Watch him stop right here, Brent. See how he slowed up?
Mm-hmm.
While he was slowing up, he was watching his teammate get tagged out at second.
So if he had scored before the tag out,
Correct.
It would have counted.
Watch the umpire. No score. No score.
Nope.
No score.
He did. He picked that up quick.
What?
Good umpire.
Throw it second.
Because they got
This Dodo's supposed to is supposed to stop and get out of the way and not run into the tag. But look at him at home. He's 4 steps away.
What's going on back there? Now go show the center fielder where he nonchalantly.
Is that the one that didn't throw it in?
Trent Grisham. That's who's supposed to be a Gold Glove, a Gold Glove caliber center fielder.
Because, and here's what people are wondering what happened on this play. The first baseman actually tags first.
Yeah, he got the
So
force
you got
out.
the force out.
So
okay.
now it's not the
force
the
out.
second base or the runner running to second. It's now not a force.
And it wasn't the third out yet.
Not yet until
If
there.
he scores, I got you.
Now that's
Okay.
the third out, and meanwhile Dodo's down there jogging in the home.
3 weeks ago, we were talking about they were the best team in baseball. I mean,
you were talking.
No, we all were. Y'all were giving me
He's got a mouse in his pocket.
Y'all were giving me a hard time about. I was so worried about Aaron Judge at the beginning of the season, and insinuating that I wanted to trade him. I never made that comment. I was just stating that I was worried about his slow start, which thankfully he is the only person who is playing ball in the Bronx right
Who's
now.
the guy that caught the ball the other day and threw it behind his head? Did you watch that one?
I missed that one too.
Oh, it was the right fielder.
Cardinals outburst.
Well,
it was. I thought it was the Yankees. That was you
here's-
guys. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry.
And I don't know if y'all have any analysis of this. Here's the crazy part. So again, the Yankees had the best record in 3 weeks ago. Had the best record in baseball. They were a juggernaut. Their starting pitching staff was on a historic pace in terms of statistical dominance. Offense was decent. 3 weeks later, obviously we've lost, I think, 14 of 18 or 15 of 18. We're second in our division right now. What's the one thing that's changed in that other than obviously the quality of play in terms of the roster? What's the one thing that changed? And more specifically, who came back to the team right around that same time? Our $300 million Cy Young award-winning ace. So explain to me, like, the only thing, and this is a conspiracy on my part, but like, the fact that Cole was out, do you think like the starting pitching staff was just so, we've got to step up, we've got to bring our A game, and like the minute he came back, they just put it on cruise control? Because yes, part of it's been the offense has been anemic with us outside of Soto and Judge. The offense has been embarrassing, and we're starting to see that the lack of depth in the lineup. But the thing that's been
got the most point runs in Major League Baseball.
That was up until 3 weeks ago.
No. You're second. You're second. I'm sorry. The Dodgers have one more run.
Yeah, and we were running
one more run.
3 weeks ago. We were running away from it. I mean,
It's probably the top two payrolls.
Yankees fans are so funny.
Our
Dolphins is anemic.
Most of those runs are from Judge and Soto.
Hey,
but anyway.
I'm sure.
But our pitching staff, our starting pitching staff, our rotation has seriously just fallen off a cliff in the past 3 weeks. And it's almost like, again, when Cole came back, it's like everybody else, Stroman, Rotone, Schmidt's been injured, of course, but and who else? Nasty Nestor. It's like they put it on cruise control, and now they're giving up. They're giving up 5 runs in 3 innings. They had They set the record for the longest streak of starting pitchers who went 5+ innings, giving up 2 or less runs. And in the past 3 weeks, it's like they're giving up 5 runs in 2 or 3 innings.
Brent, you guys are in 4th. No fighting this year.
You know, that's not bad for the Tigers, to be honest with you. Only 8 games below 500, so
I'm sure Tom's happy right now.
Yeah.
They're holding their own.
Oh, the Guardians.
Expansion Guardians are in
Expansion
first,
teams.
Twins in second, Royals third.
Are the Royals still in the playoffs right now for Terry?
It's
That-
close.
uh,
There's 8 teams over
yeah.
500 in American League.
They're a game and a half behind the
I
Red
think
Sox.
they're
outside.
I
Right
think
there.
they're out. I think they're number 7, aren't they? Like Minnesota's ahead of them.
Okay.
Game and a half behind the Red Sox.
Yep.
The Red Sox.
Yankees, Twins, and Red Sox.
Because there's three wild cards.
Yeah.
I got
Okay,
confused
I was
about-
thinking there was 2.
In
I
the
got
na-
confused about that a couple weeks
In the
ago.
National League, Braves, Padres, and Cardinals are your wild card teams in the National League.
Braves got taken down last night by NC State's own Trey Turner.
Wow.
We're I don't think we'll win that division.
That's
Turner
all right.
hit 2 bombs last night.
Nobody worries about it. That's like winning the ACC tournament. That's like losing the ACC
It's
tournament.
right.
But
And
winning the
when we won that
NCAA
last
tournament.
year, with that little, we just didn't come into the playoffs and start well. So maybe it'll be okay to get the wild card.
Yeah, the Braves just rolled snake eyes last year. There, when Fried was out and he was not able to get amped up to be in playoff shape to pitch. So much was riding on Strider because when Morton went down, the depth, because Morton had been such a solid pitcher for them and it is such a good playoff pitcher too. When he went down, and Fried was not game ready. So it's so much dependent on when the Phillies beat them in Game 1 with Strider, you knew they were in trouble.
And we don't play well against Phillies all the time. Kevin, you guys are sitting there at.
Well, I'm about to tell you a bad stat about us. 6 teams in the National League are over 500.
Mm-hmm.
5 of those 6 teams have a positive run differential. One of them doesn't.
Guess who?
Cardinals are minus 36 in run differential. The Reds, who are 4.5 games behind the Cardinals. The Reds have a plus 20 run differential. The only team in the National League with a positive run differential and a losing
When you got
record.
one of the best center fielders of all time on your team.
In fact, they're the only team in baseball with a losing record and and a positive run differential in all baseball. And like Zach said, King Griffey Jr. is their 5th highest player.
That's awesome. You know he's proud of that.
He's still producing in the lineup. All right. Dodgers in first. Padres 6.5 behind them. Brewers 5 over the Braves, and Phillies 10. Brewers 5 over the Cardinals. Phillies 10 over the Braves. Zach, good grief.
That's tough. I told you I don't think we can make that gap up. That's a lot.
That might be a little bit too much. All right, before we back out of here, me arguing with people about war on the internet. Now they're discount. Here, just want to read this comment for you guys. Talking about batting average. You ready?
Yep.
You can't say batting average is an effective evaluation of hitting. I'm clearly talking about as a standing alone evaluation. How can I say it's not effective? Because not all hits are equal. It's that easy. You idiot. It's measuring base hits, period. Yeah. And they're like, they're not equal. You get singles. Some guy's a home run hitter, and you're just like, oh, my God. All they're saying is that when he swings the bat, and this is the batting average people are against it, right?
Yeah.
See if I'm not wrong here. A batting average is how many times you get a hit per bat correctly. Yeah. Is that not the same thing as a field goal percentage? It's how many times you hit a shot versus take a shot. So the NBA will argue that someone is a Hall of Fame shooter at 43%, but suck at 38%.
Yeah.
But we're going to sit here and tell me that batting average don't matter at all and is not, what do you say, an effective evaluation of hitting.
There is a metric somewhere, though, in shooting that if you can shoot a lower percentage from 3-point land and still get more points versus, a higher percentage of twos.
Correct. I think the 3-point line is kind of like the power hitter, so to speak.
Yeah. I wasn't mentioning like I'm just mentioning field goals in general. Like, hey, this is all your field goal percentage, no matter what, says
how many times
I was
you hit
10 or
it,
20, whether they were threes or twos. It just says this is how many times I shot, and just this batting average thing. The guy was arguing a minute ago. Somebody said, "Would you rather have the 120 hitter or the 320 hitter?" And he said, "Depends on other things."
Oh my gracious! Now that's absurd.
But that's what they're arguing now. It does not. The batting average does not matter. It depends if he gets walked more. If the guy gets the same amount of walks, it's just as good. Walks are just as good as singles.
No,
so they'll argue that singles aren't as good as home runs in that metric.
Well,
but then they want a walk to be the same thing as a single.
Well, I'll make the argument a walk is just as good as a single.
No, it's not even close.
They're both your runners on base. What's the difference?
If somebody's on second and I get a single, what happens?
So, all right, you're just talking about for runners. Okay, no, and that's
moving
fair.
Players
that's
along.
Fair. Yeah,
RBIs possibly.
Yeah, a walk. Everybody moves up one spot. That's it.
If there's not
if there's somebody in the spot,
I can hit a fly ball to right field and move people up a spot. Like hitting the ball to me is way 1,000 times more better than striking out. It ever was. And the way they do this stuff with, hey, I'd rather strike out than
I do think
hit a ground ball.
I do think there's under value in walking though, especially with how much players are striking out right now.
Listen, if you can't hit chip, feel free to walk. I mean, that's how I feel as a baseball player and coach. Like, I mean, there is a value. This guy can't hit. Please walk.
But there's got to be something to be said for plate discipline. I mean, there's got to be an argument.
That's why when Barry Bonds came up, they pitch discipline and put him on first.
That is a good point.
That's an intentional walk,
right? But that is a good point. If walks are so valuable, why do people intentional walk people?
That's
if it's
fair.
so important.
I'm not saying it's more important than hit. And to your point,
but it is valuable.
I'll back up my argument.
It's a base
because you make a good point in terms of if there's runners on base. If there's runners on base, specifically runners in scoring position, yes, no, a walk is not as effective as a hit.
Who's the fat guy who used to play for the Phillies? John Kruk.
Yeah,
you got John Kruk and Jimmy Rollins. Okay, would you rather have Kruk walk and Rollins try to hit him in, or Rollins walk and Crux fat butt try to hit him in. That's my point. Is what you're saying. A walk for somebody is different than somebody. Like I can walk Bonds and nothing happened because Greg Maddox said best thing you do is walk him because he can't hurt me if I walk him.
Well, it depends. If Crux batting is Randy Johnson pitching,
Well,
that's what.
But
any birds involved.
So the big argument is what's the most important. Is scoring runs is the name of the game. So, and they're poo pooing the RBIs. The RBIs and batting average don't know.
Well, it's like we talked about 2 weeks ago. Or last week. And this guy making an argument about batting average being a standalone stat that you try to assess. And I can understand to an extent his point, but then you've also got to look at who are the career leaders in batting average. Ain't nobody there a slouch hitter. No. Nobody on that statistic is a slouch hitter. So you've got to give credit where credit's due. However, I don't think you throw on base percentage out either. I think it's a valuable stat to analyze.
Well, my point on base percentage is I'd rather have Albert Pujols swing the bat. I'd rather have Mike Trout swing the bat than get on base.
Than Adam Dunn.
Don't tell me you're the best player ever, and you're up there going, Blue, is that a ball? Blue, will you help me? Can I go to first base, please? Can I please go to first? No, get up there and swing the freaking bat.
Yeah, no, I'd rather have Pujols than Adam Dunn. I get your argument. I understand that.
So they're arguing the all time like hits and runs and what's the most important. With all that, and people are saying the runs scored. And as far as the hitting wise goes, you look at the all time RBI leaders. That one is amazing. Here's one for you. Only 4 players in the 700 doubles club: Stan Musial, Pete Rose, Ty Cobb, and I can't remember the other one. Musial has more home runs than the other 3 combined. Mm-hmm. And so when you talk about hitting, we both got 700 doubles. I'm Pete Rose. Can you say anything bad about Pete Rose hitting, Brent?
4,000.
But is he better hitter than Stan Musial?
Got more hits than Stan Musial.
That's a fact. But as you heard what I just said.
Yeah.
Same number of doubles, basically, a few more hits, 300 more home runs.
Pretty amazing.
But those don't matter. All-time list of runs scoring leaders. All right. See if any of these guys are any good at baseball. Ricky Henderson, number 1. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, so here's the argument of, do you want the guy to score the run? Ricky Henderson and Ty Cobb are your top 2. Mm-hmm. Okay. The next 3, Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth.
Yeah. I was about to say, I knew Aaron had to be in there somewhere, and I figured Ruth was too.
So 2 completely different hitters compared to the next one. Number 6, Pete Rose. So your all-time top 6 hitters. How about 7, Willie Mays. 8, Alex Rodriguez. 9, Stan Musial. 10, Chip Carter's favorite player of all time.
Oh gosh,
Derek Jeter.
Oh,
these are runs scored.
I thought you were talking about the Jose Canseco's
11th, Albert Pujols.
The Yankees'
12th,
second best shortstop.
12th, yeah, 12th, Lou Gehrig.
Behind A-Rod.
So Lou Gehrig was 12th. So there's the names. Here's the top runs scored: Ricky, Ty, Bonds, Aaron, Ruth, Rose, Mays, Rodriguez, Musial, Jeter, Pujols, Gehrig. If you're making a Mount Rushmore of those 12, you could put the Mount Rushmore of baseball out of those 12, could you not? Mm-hmm. Now, if you are making a Mount Rushmore of those 12, remember what I was saying here? I'll put the list up for you folks. You can see it home. Ricky, Ty Cobb, Bonds, that list on the list. Aaron, Ruth, Rose, Mays, Rodriguez, Musial, Jeter, Pujols, Gehrig, and Tris Speaker 13. Chip, my point. Does Ricky Henderson or Ty Cobb make that top 4 list?
No.
You're talking about best player of all time?
Yeah, like if you're making your Mount Rushmore and those are your 12 choices, is Ricky or Ty even making those top 4? No. With a list with Pujols, Stan Musial, Willie Mays, Babe Ruth, Bonds, and Aaron. So the run scoring is big. It's huge. It's a big part of the game. But you never hear anybody say Ricky Henderson is the greatest baseball player of all time.
I'd say he's the greatest leadoff hitter of all time.
Could be.
And that reinforces that. One thing I've thought about and
that's what I'm saying about the walks. It matters who walks. It matters who walks. If I walk, I can still second base. If my fat DH walks, he ain't scoring. He just ain't going to score. He's going to get on first base, and he's going to
need help.
He needs 3 people behind him to knock him in. Yeah. And I can still second and third. and hope a pop up. I can squeeze in. I can score home.
My cousin, who was
Ricky can score third. I'm talking third person. Kevin can score home.
my cousin was my cousin was a lineman in football in high school. We played baseball for our high school, and he hit a gapper into right center, and it was a good defensive outfielder. But they get to the ball and throw it back in. He's still standing at first. And my dad told him after the game, he was like, "You're the only person in the world I know to turn a triple into a single."
All right, here's a good question.
Yeah.
If you took out the home runs where you knocked yourself in, what would these numbers look like?
You're going to put Aaron and Ruth
and Bonds
down.
And Bonds.
Seven
Mays,
700 off that. They're down to 1,500.
Mays.
So they're down in. They're still in the top. They're still in the 15 to 20 range.
Yeah,
15 to 20 range.
And Henderson hit his fair share of home
He
runs
did
too. So
can you imagine? You're talking about the prototypical leadoff hitter, and obviously Henderson, I think most of us would agree is the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. Can you imagine the one thing against him, fundamentally speaking, if he had been a left-handed hitter, how much quicker he could have got out of the box? I mean,
who's this?
Ricky Henderson.
Yeah.
But
here's what, 130 bases one year. 130.
So we're talking about
he stole more than the National League and American League combined leaders.
Yes.
In like last year.
Yeah.
He stole more by himself.
Yeah. So, but
nuts.
So with NBA stats we were looking at, and you look like we were looking at the assist statistic you were showing about per season. So, looking at Pete Rose's breakdown here, 162 game average, and good hitter, you can't dismiss. So, 194 hits a year. That's pretty stout. You can't
good.
You can't dismiss that.
You're gonna get
34
one and a quarter a game.
34 doubles. That's 6 triples, 7 home runs, 60 RBIs. So I mean, he's like he's your 2 hitter.
Yeah. Real quick, I want you to tell me some of the. Go back over some of the stats. So, how many doubles?
34.
Averaged
34. He averaged 34
in his career.
162 game average
in his career. Mike Trout only hit over 34 doubles twice.
You just reminded me of something I want to show.
All right. What was the other stat you told me? You said hits. How many did he average?
194.
Averaged 194, right?
Averaged 194 a season.
In his career,
he averaged over a hit a game.
In his career, Mike Trout never hit 194 hits. Mike Trout, Brent, has never had a 50 home run season. He's never had a 40 double season. He's never had a 200 hit season.
You sound like a big Mike Trout fan.
He's never
had a Gold Glove.
I'm a Mike Trout truther. He's never had a year where he hit. Put it this way: he's never had one year, where he hit 300, 30 homers, 100 RBIs.
Wow.
Albert Pujols did that 11 straight years.
And how many?
So when you say somebody's the greatest or good at this, and I'm like,
and how many guys in the '90s era did do that stat?
George
that you talked
Brett,
about?
maybe
200 hit seasons. A bunch of people have.
How many did George Brett do?
Oh man,
200 hit seasons.
30. Well, 30, 300.
Look at John Olerud. Look up John Olerud and see what.
John Olerud.
Seriously, I mean, he was good contact.
Guy that wears the helmet in the field.
Pete Rose. I mean, not Pete Rose, but Brett had 200 hit seasons, 195 hit season.
How many 30, 100, 300 seasons did he have?
Brett might not have a lot of 30 homers. He never hit 30 homers, but one time
he had the batting average though.
And that year that he did hit 30 homers, he batted 335 with 112 RBI. So he had one.
Yeah.
He got one in his career. So there you go. There's some baseball fun and news and notes.
Underrated hitter.
The one guy
Rod
that I
Carew.
seen on that list you had there, Kevin, was Craig Biggio popping up at 15.
Biggio's 15th total runs.
I was surprised at that.
Carew's 87th. That's funny you say that. He's on the other side of the list. So here's completely opposite. Ichiro scored one more run than David Ortiz.
Wow.
I saw a stat that in his first major league game, Ichiro got a hit, or in his 10th at bat or something, he got his third hit. And after that point, he never was below 300 for his career.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
Too bad we didn't get him early.
Yeah.
He's like Arvydas Sabonis of
Yeah,
baseball.
he is.
Yeah, he had a little.
He's one of my favorite players.
He had a little more prime left when he first signed with the Mariners.
Cecil Fielder was kind of an old.
All right,
old start.
Here's a random Yankees trivia for y'all. Out of Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, and Babe Ruth, how would you rank them in terms of career stolen bases? Who do you think has the most stolen bases out of those three? Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, and Babe Ruth.
I'd say Mantle.
I'd say Babe.
All right.
Screw the Yankees.
Mantle has 153 career stolen bases. He averaged 10 a season. Babe Ruth has 123 total stolen bases, averaged 8. Joe DiMaggio has 30 stolen bases, averaged 3. Can you imagine? Babe Ruth was a better base stealer than Joe DiMaggio was.
Was Joe and Mickey both played center, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yeah, Joe was prior to Mickey's time, and DiMaggio was basically like their 3-hitter. So
I wonder why they weren't stealing bases, because they could run.
His brother Dom. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't tell me that Joe didn't have better base running ability than Ruth did. But also, I think this goes to show Ruth wasn't just a big fat guy. But but DiMaggio's brother Dom led the league in stolen bases one year during that time with 14. 14 stolen bases.
So nobody ran that much.
It was just that it was not utilized heavily during that time.
Catchers were so good.
All right, JP, we got to take a break. We come back. We got NBA, NFL to finish up. We already did NBA. NFL and college, KDCBroadcasting.com.
Wait. Don't you just hate waiting? Well, I do too. That's why I go to All Ray Tire Center, where I get in and out service and check out some of their springtime specials, like alternator service starting at $79.95, an oil change starting at $47.99, brakes starting at $125 per axle, and they have great prices on tires, and most sizes are in stock, so you don't have to wait. Visit your nearest All Ray Tire Center, West Main Street, Forest City, Lower Dallas Road in Dallas, East Main Street in Cherryville, West Dixon Boulevard, Shelby, and Carbon City Road in Morganton.
Drive it, own it, afford it. For only $2.99 a month at James River Equipment Company in Shelby. It's multiple choice. Take your pick from a John Deere 3032E tractor with a loader package. With 32 horsepower, it's perfect for loader work, mowing, leveling, digging, grading, and more. For just $2.99 a month. Or John Deere 1025R tractor with loader and backhoe. You spend more time working and less time switching equipment. Also $2.99 a month. For details, see James River Equipment Company, 703 North Post Road, Highway 180 North, Shelby.
Let's get ready to ride.
Get ready to rock with the new Ford Mustang RTR from Tyndall Ford in Gastonia. The Mustang RTR features enhanced driving characteristics, appearance, and performance. See them today at Tyndall Ford or go to TyndallFord.com. Plus, see the line of Ford Mustang Roush. And Tyndall Ford has sold more Roushes than anyone since 2015. Just call the Performance Line at 704-466-6160 and talk with the crazy Mustang man, Lyle Sturgis, about a new Mustang RTR or Roush today. Tyndall Ford, 1901 East Franklin Boulevard, Gastonia. Are you in the market for roofing materials? Then head to Acre Enterprises in Cherryville, where they will not be undersold. Right now, 3 by 12 foot, 29 gauge metal roofing is just $30 a sheet. Choose from Barn Shed Slate, white, red, dark blue, and silver Gavaloon. And just in, 5V Barn 10, 2 foot wide and silver Gavaloon, just $20 a sheet. More information, call 704-435-9525 or drop by at 1220 Shelby Highway, 150 West in Cherryville, right across from Food Line. Online at acrecarports.com. Like them on Facebook too. The Don Gibson Theater is located at 318 South Washington Street in Shelby. They feature the best in national artists from all around the country. Blues, bluegrass, country, and rock, among other genres. Coming on Saturday, August 17th at 8 o'clock, it's the comedian Killer Bees. And Saturday, August 23rd at 8 o'clock, it's the 84 Van Halen Tribute Band. And coming Friday, September 27th, it's the Cleverleys, also at 8 p.m. For tickets and information, call 704-487-8114 or stop by the box office today.
Folding a fitted sheet, programming the thermostat, matching your socks. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with an auto owner's insurance independent agent, getting the right coverage for your home doesn't have to be one of them. So you can get back to more important things, like finding that missing sock. That's simple human sense.
Your auto insurance agencies are Mooney Insurance Agency in Maiden and East Lincoln Insurance Agency in Denver.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time.
Shop local with whatsupshopper.com, Carolina Country, and The Boss. Just arrived at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. A big old truckload of over 30 brand new Frigidaire side-by-side refrigerators. All come with a full factory warranty, and the prices have been slashed. But that's not all. Another truckload of scratch and dented Frigidaire washers, dryers, ranges, and more have arrived. All with a full factory warranty. Only at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center. 1241 East Dixon Boulevard, Highway 74 Bypass East in Shelby. They're on the right going down, on the left coming up.
The Yamaha Get Out and Ride sales event is underway at Full Throttle Power Sports in Lowell. Get 3.9% APR financing and up to $3,500 cash with approved credit for qualified buyers. But that's not all. Suzuki Fest is underway with 2.9% APR financing for 36 months for qualified buyers. And get the hottest ride of the summer with the Yamaha Slingshot with no money down or 5.99% APR financing for qualified buyers or $1,000 in customer cash. Come in for the details at Full Throttle Power Sports, 101 Indian Walk in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com.
On the Go Quick Lube in Falston is not just oil changes, they have tires for all cars with names like GT Radio, Hankook, and Toyo, plus interstate batteries and wiper blades. Of course they do oil changes, featuring Castrol, Motorcraft, and Rotella diesel oil, and they carry diesel truck fuel filters. Plus, they're an official North Carolina inspection station. For quick service with competitive pricing and professional technicians, head over to On The Go Quick Lube today. 3716 Falston Road, Highway 18 north of Shelby, and go Burns Bulldogs.
For lunch or dinner today, try the 27 West Family Restaurant in Vail. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. with daily specials. Dine in or carry out by calling 704-276-9333. They feature daily lunch and dinner specials, all kinds of sandwiches, burgers, hot dogs, and chicken tenders too. Plus fresh-made salads, wraps, and all kinds of sides. Try one of their seafood plates and seafood platters and Smokin' Joe's barbecue plates, along with the big list of sides. For lunch or dinner, head to the 27 West Family Restaurant, 5525 Highway 27 West in Vail. Like them on Facebook too.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. They're
Hey, what's
talking
up,
about
JP?
Not much.
What do you think we're going to talk about this time, JP?
Sports.
Okay.
All right.
I would like to say though.
Nailed it.
I would like to say though, we are watching Wimbledon in my house. We actually got ESPN to watch that this year.
Spell Wimbledon.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm glad you know. Go. Yeah, go.
WIN.
M like Mary or
I'm
M
just-
like
yeah. Clarify that letter.
What was that last letter?
What's that last letter?
M. N. No. Yeah. I did.
You have to pick
WIN. BOMON.
Close.
Oh.
Not even.
E-I-E-I-O.
Yeah.
E-I-E-I-O.
Hey, JP, is it a T or a D on the end of it?
It's a T.
No. It's Wimbledon. Wimbledon.
We've talked about this last week, JP. You weren't paying attention. Wimbledon with a D. And was it Thomas says, how long has it been that way?
It's all right. Tom banished me to Terryland because of my walk's as good as a hit comment. Yes, Tom, you're right. I was wrong. I backed off of it.
How about a hit's as good as a walk?
How about what?
A hit's as good as a walk.
Well, technically, I think the argument is a hit's
At
better.
least
A hit's a
it's
better
good.
than a
At
walk.
least.
It's better than a walk.
That's why we get live questions versus taped.
That's right.
Oh my good God.
Kind of like last night.
There's some I don't want to talk about this youth league dumb coaching. That was a little video there. All right, how about college football or sports real info. Oh, that Stan Musial stat was Pete Rose, Ty Cobb, and Tris Speaker. He has more home runs in. They're the only 4 people in the 700 double club.
That's the second time I've seen that Tris Speaker today, and I don't know that guy.
He's early, like one of the like
Ty Cobb.
Pre-Ty Cobb,
Okay.
I think.
All right, we'll have y'all do a little guess game. Athletic revenue. Athletic revenue, not
Ohio State.
Just not just football, but all sports. And Brent's right. Ohio State is number 1.
Alabama.
Number 2 is led
Stanford
by the Yale squad. Texas A&M.
Okay.
They spent all that money to get their butts handed to them by the Appalachian State Mountaineers. Woo woo! They're number 2. Texas 3, Michigan 4, Georgia 5, Nebraska
total
6.
athletic department.
Yes.
Okay.
North Carolina 33rd.
NC State
in bringing in money.
Where is USC? Where's Southern Cal?
I'm looking at all the ugly colors, trying to find them in there.
Where's all the LA money? Good gracious.
Might not. UCLA's 49. Cal's 39.
That's surprising to me.
People just might not. Los Angeles fans don't go to games unless they're winning national championships, then they'll fill it up probably.
Like Panthers.
Carolina 33, NC State 43. Appalachian State did not make the top 50 in athletic revenue for you folks that were amazed by that.
Where's Miami? I don't see Miami.
Nobody goes to Miami games either. No. Nope. Tennessee is number 8. Tom always made the point, Brent, that most of these, like they don't have nothing else to do in these areas other than
Big Ten.
Other than to support
Big
their
Ten's
college. That's what the Big Ten's the big
4,
ones.
6, 7.
I think it's a valid argument.
There's not good weather. There's no beaches. They got nothing to do but watch college football.
Yeah.
The Ohio's NFL teams, and he argued with me last week that the Bengals were a prestigious franchise, but they've been garbage for 100 years. So but the college team hasn't. But
you would think something's wrong.
They've made 3
I just
Super
can't
Bowls.
believe it. Yeah, Carolina.
They have.
NC
They made 3
State's on
Super
here.
Bowls, and Joe Montana cost them 2 of those. Come on, man.
Yeah. Who beat them in the last one? Anyway?
The GOAT before the GOAT, that was the Rams beat them, didn't it?
Stafford beat them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the Stafford and Cooper Cup.
There's your college sports money analysis of the day. That's all I really got on that one. All right.
College
NFL.
basketball news. Roy Williams made a pit stop in Shelby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dropped out Pleasant City.
Yeah.
The
Sunday
earlier
night
this week. Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. There's Wimbledon.
What? It is. Here, JP, for the folks at home. Wimbledon.
Wimbledon.
Wimbledon. That's it.
The way he spelled it's Wimbledon. Wimbledon.
He needed to ask for a vowel or a
I started
or a
questioning
sentence.
myself.
You need to
about
put a
that.
friend, on that.
JP, you told me you were first in spelling in your class.
I did watch.
I was the only one in there. May I remind y'all, I was homeschooled, so yeah, I was kind of the best speller. I was the only one in there.
Told y'all.
So you were valedictorian.
He was the best speller in his class.
And salutatorian.
JP went with me when he first started up to Asheville, and he thought we were taking him to Tennessee.
That was
Close.
day 1 when I started filming for y'all.
Is that the furthest you've ever been away from home?
He'd never been out of the state at that point.
No, actually, I had been to Honduras by that point.
Been to Honduras?
He wanted to know if he needed his passport to go
You've
to
never been to
Tennessee.
South Carolina, but you've been to Honduras?
Well, no, I've been to South Carolina, too.
Oh. Well, that's
Apparently
another
my grandmother
state.
lives in South Carolina.
Oh, okay. All right. That's another state. I didn't know if you knew that.
J.P. Morgan. Oh.
Honduras. It's just another country.
Yeah.
All right. Zach, this one's for you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
For you Carolina Panthers fans out here. And I'm going to let you comment.
Just the draft room.
Have you seen this?
No.
This is the draft room.
Oh, boy.
And I don't know if you
The
know.
real draft room.
So if you folks listen on the radio.
That's our new coach, right?
We are on YouTube Live, and I'm showing a video here.
He's definitely a millennial.
This is the Panthers' new coach, Dave Canales, sitting in the draft room. But who's sitting next to him, Chip?
Nobody.
I have no idea who that is.
You don't know who that lady is?
Is that Joe Biden? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, y'all don't know who that lady
No.
is? Do y'all know who that lady is? Sitting next to the head coach in the
She
draft
was
room?
in that show.
Is that
V.
Temper's wife? Oh, wow.
Yes, sir, it is. That is David Tepper's wife sitting in the draft room. Now, she is listed as part of the ownership group.
Yeah.
She has 2 different mobile phones.
Well, maybe 3.
I'd be 3.
Maybe 3.
Easy. What's wrong with that?
But listen. guy, Zach, if you hit the button.
He's like, would you trade up for the guy that I like? I said, yeah.
So
He's like, would you?
I know you guys can't. I don't know why the closed caption's not showing up.
She like?
Who cares who she likes?
What?
Is my point.
What in the world?
So we're sitting. Look at this. I'm gonna read it to you, folks.
Look at the look in his face.
She says. He was like, "Would you trade up for?" And it didn't say. And then she says, "For the guy
that I like." I said, yeah.
And she said yes. So she is discussing trades with the head coach in the middle of the first round of the draft, Zach. Do you feel confident in the forward progression of the Carolina Panthers?
Be like Jerry calling his grandson.
I don't know if Brent, you know that. Yeah, Jerry called his grandson in one of the drafts, asked him how a player did, if he showed up at practice, and if he went to the cafeteria and stuff like that, and then he drafted him. Every scout in the room's wanting someone else. Jerry goes, "Let me call my grandson and ask this guy shows up to class or does. Is he a good guy? Is he a nice guy?" And then he drafted that guy.
Yep.
The Panthers have scouts, head coaches, people who have
no
played,
football.
Where is Dan
football
Morgan in this conversation? Seriously, where's Dan Morgan in this conversation?
Oh, they blocked him out. He's at that other computer.
And you've got the owner's wife, who may or may not know anything about
maybe
football.
maybe she's like Jennifer Gardner from Draft
But
Day.
that's fine. Can y'all name any other owner's wife sitting next to the head coach in the draft war room talking about, yeah, I'll trade up. I would trade up for him.
Jerry Jones.
Probably Dan Snyder's wife.
Jerry Jones' son is the GM.
Yeah.
But I may be wrong. Y'all might be wrong. But seriously, that like, I've never seen anything like this in my life.
I ain't seen
Like,
anything
why is the head coach's wife not sitting there too?
like our team
She knows
since he
more
bought
football
it.
than probably she does, don't she? So she should sit there and discuss the trade. They're discussing trades and drafts.
Well, look at his face.
I think
That says it all.
yeah, I think this is a cheap fake.
This is not a cheap. It's a cheap fake.
He's like, would you trade up for the guy that I like? I said, yeah.
Zach's
Did he even comment?
Zach's right. No, that was someone else talking. So watch Canals' face.
Like, is this for real?
See there, right there. Are you serious?
That look has so many things, but part of that look is, what have I gotten myself
It's
into?
usually like what Tom looks like sitting beside Terry.
I just, I just can't in my
Tom's
mind.
usually slouched back with the.
I can't wrap my head around this one, y'all.
This is the Tom look.
Then when he gets serious, he pulls his glasses and puts them together. And
But Brent, you got, let's say Canales is the head coach, right?
Yeah.
I assume that's the GM she's talking to.
Yeah.
Who knows? But my point is, there's a line.
so you don't think he was talking to Canales?
No, he didn't. He wasn't. Canales wasn't talking.
I think
to her. He was
Morgan
watching-
might be at
No,
the
he
okay,
was.
seat next to him.
Canales.
That wasn't Canales talking. That was somebody else sitting next to
Okay.
Canales talking.
So he's just listening.
Yeah, that's just
I
he's
thought
just-
she was
No, she
telling
no,
him.
Canales
I
is-
thought he mumbled his mouth a little bit.
No, watch him.
He's like,
He's
"What'd I
watching
do?"
the guy next to him.
Look at he's not happy. Look.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, she's not looking at him. She's looking at whoever's sitting in this seat with the water bottle right here. So my thing was, though, isn't there a hierarchy of GM, head coach?
Should be.
And then there's probably another 10 to 15 people who know football and are a part of the team. I'm going to be the assistant. I'm going to be the head coach. I mean, not the assistant, but the
assistant GM.
But the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. All of those guys should have some type of input other than the owner's wife about, are we trading up now?
She's probably, it's fun for her, though.
It is. You're right, Brent. Zach.
It's not fun for Panther fans.
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
And who did they pick?
I am not happy.
They took
Wide
Watson's
receiver
name.
I like.
I do like the wide receiver. It was a good pick.
I like Leggett.
Yeah.
But it's been a train wreck ever since that we've had ownership change.
I'm telling you, nobody wants to do it, but it'll be a painful few years, but it might be addition by subtraction.
It might be a painful time for me to find a new team. That's how bad it is.
You're stuck with this family as your primary ownership group for this franchise unless you allow them to move. And I know nobody wants Charlotte without a football team in the area. I understand that, but what is the price you're willing to pay to keep a team in the city?
I'm totally against paying for anything to be built by taxpayer money after we have to pay to get in the stadium.
Well, they just got approved for a huge renovation, right?
Yep.
$650 million
on taxpayers' money.
Yep.
That have to pay to get into the stadium.
So to Kevin's point last
Don't
week,
like it.
how much did they pay? How much did Mr. Tepper pay for the Panthers?
$3 billion.
So apparently it was about $2.5 billion.
Too much.
Too much. Or excuse me. He should have paid $2.5 billion. About $500 million too much.
He paid
He's
too
asking
much.
for $650 million for the city to cover these renovations. Yeah.
He's one of the most rich owners in the
If
NFL.
not the richest.
He can afford to do his own.
Jaguars
renovation.
just approved $700 million deal with a $12 billion owner.
The biggest
with
one
him.
that's in limbo right now is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
That's the big one.
Yep.
They
And they're going to build a new stadium, and they've got the loudest stadium in the world.
Potentially.
They might lose the team. That's how bad it's going.
Well, they might move across the river. Kansas City might go from Missouri to Kansas.
Baseball too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's joint with the Royals and the Chiefs.
There is a group in St. Louis pushing to get the Chiefs to move to St. Louis.
That would be good.
The deal is with their owners, and I don't think they're going anywhere, and here's why. If you know anything about what is Arrowhead Stadium, so Arrowhead, I'm gonna call it Arrowwood. I got a friend and went to college named Arrowwood, so that's so hard to say that. But Arrowhead Stadium, let me show you guys a picture of it on the interweb here. Stadium.
And I mean, while you're pulling that up, Kevin, I mean, I know this is a sentimental argument, but you're talking about one of the historic.
I say, is this like
franchises.
Lambeau?
I mean, I don't know if I'd go quite that far, but I mean, this team was in either Super Bowl I or Super Bowl II as the Kansas City
Both of them.
Chiefs.
I mean,
No, they weren't in both.
Mhm.
It wouldn't repeat. Hold on. The Packers played.
They won Super Bowl III, I think.
No,
Bobby Bell was
that
on.
was Namath. That was Namath.
Okay.
It was Super Bowl III. Hold on, Super Bowl.
It was an early Super Bowl because they had Bobby Bell from Shelby.
Let me see what I.
So looking at the stadium,
They were in Super Bowl I. Green Bay beat Oakland in Super Bowl II, and then Kansas City won Super Bowl IV.
Yeah.
so looking at the stadium, I know you guys can't really tell it, but inside the stadium is the owner's suite.
Or the base of their house.
Yes.
Okay.
The owners live inside the stadium.
Huh.
So part of their, let's say, renovations or whatever is they want them to remodel their house. Basically, they have the owners have this condo. I don't know how much it's worth, but that's what's part of the renovations actually is they're renovating their house basically. So I've got a bunch of pictures here.
Well, that stadium didn't do the men's national soccer team very good the other night.
Did it? Well, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, they lost in that stadium to Uruguay to get knocked out of the Copa America.
That's right. Yeah.
There's a bunch of pictures in here of the suite.
Now this has been renovated before previously, correct?
A little bit.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
and maybe this is just my childhood imagination. I thought the seating was like back in the day was kind of shaped like an arrowhead. I thought.
You talk about the stadium.
The stadium itself. Okay.
No.
That's back when I was watching Derek Thomas.
A good what have been. What would have been.
The best thing I can find on
What
the
could have been.
Let's see. The people are in there. Here's part of their.
I see Tyreek Hill on the jumbotron.
For the folks at home on the internet, while I'm trying to pull
Is
up.
that stained glass?
Well,
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I mean, it's a.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's a. I mean, it's the owner's suite. They're not gonna spare any expenses here. But there's the view from the stadium down here. Oh,
spared no expense. I've also got this park out in the Pacific Ocean. We're growing dinosaurs.
So there's the seats. There's their living room, dining room, whatever.
I would want that outside glass to be tinted where the people couldn't see in.
Right.
You know.
But again, like, so I don't know exactly what the arguments are or the details on their stuff. But yeah, that's their issues.
I don't like
live
it
there. But all right.
I think it shows a certain level of commitment that your ownership lives on the ground.
I was talking about the way it looked. I didn't like the way it looked. I wouldn't mind living. I thought it'd be pretty cool. But I mean, because they got houses all over the place.
This whole argument, these whole arguments that we've had about ownerships and how much you can, and how much they're asking for cities and communities to invest back in them because they're making the argument that we have an economic impact on your town or on your region, and I get that, but this tug of war, does it make the Packers that much more of appealing of a franchise?
I'm sure Harris Teeter has an economic impact too, but they build their own stores.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody, you pick anybody, but any of those guys, they build their own stuff. They don't ask the city to build it.
Does it make Green Bay that much more appealing of a franchise to root for with their community investment?
How long? Let's just bring up how long in the tooth can they get before they have to do something there with a stadium?
And they've renovated that.
They've renovated it before.
But they say it's still like just
the lower bowl is still
fossil.
The metal seats and
it's
everything.
A fossil.
And you're in there.
Green
You
Bay.
got about 18 inches of room.
But part of it for Green Bay, for folks who live there, though, I think that's part of the experience for them. Yeah. I think I mean, I
do wish the stadium, if they're going to renovate anything and do anything to them, I don't care about the outside or anything. I want wider, cushiony seats. I want to be able. I don't want to have to.
You want to go from
I want to be able to move my elbows.
You want to go from Thunder Road to a bigger roller coaster.
You don't want your shoulders like.
You remember that?
You want to pay $100. I paid $100 and something for a seat here, and my shoulders are rubbing up against somebody because y'all squeezed us in here like sardines instead of giving us an extra couple inches in the seats. And I think that's it. I'm not asking for the real big wide body seats like they got at the hospitals. I'm just talking about to add a little bit more. And then when you're up, when you're in the upper deck, you feel like you're going to fall over forward or something. Something bigger. I would say up there would probably be helpful because I've always felt like I'm just going to fall down 5 rows of seats on top of somebody's head going up there. All right, Zach, any other Panthers notes or
we'll see. I am interested to see how Bryce Young does with this quarterback coach. What I'm gonna call him. He's our head coach, but let's see what kind of offense they can put in and see if we can protect him. I know he's beefed up in the offseason. I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures. He looks a lot. It's funny. He looks a lot more like Kyler Murray. He's a little bit more muscular, but that's not saying a whole lot. But hopefully, don't get killed.
I'm literally bigger than him. Like he's.
I saw a quote or a comment where the head coach said, "I'm not asking him to be the vocal leader," which I thought was interesting. So.
Well, they're talking about
Leggett needs to be the vocal leader.
That's
the new wide receiver.
He needs to be the fan interaction.
He's not asking because everybody's saying he's quiet.
Yeah.
So, you got to remember they moved up in the draft.
I was just saying, how could you do that for that?
Drafted, and then you drafted a quiet.
They said they drafted him because he's such a good leader on what the.
Meanwhile, the guy they didn't pick,
gracious,
had one heck of a year for the Texans.
Astronomical. Could it? I mean, it could. And just be fair, could it flip flop? Could he have a bad year? And I mean, it could.
No,
it probably ain't.
Sophomore.
If we can get a Russell Wilson type out of
Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young. I was about to say Trey
Charlotte
Young,
Sports would be better tomorrow if they traded Bryce Young and LaMelo Ball right now.
We beat Medicare.
You beat it to death.
I think I'm out of fun tweets and whatnot. Zach, you got anything else today? Any comments on anything?
No, I'm good.
But Kevin, I'll play in golf if you carry your own bag.
Do what? Oh God, we had you.
I know you don't have a 5 handicap. I saw your swing.
You missed the fun. We did that last week, Brett and Zach. Y'all weren't here for last week's show, but we did that last week where we argued about that about the handicaps and that was pretty good. It sounded just like a regular golf argument. It really did.
Yeah.
I don't. The carrier bag thing is just insane. Like, dude, you can barely walk. You're not carrying. You're not making one hole
Dude,
carrying a bag.
You need to carry yourself, man.
Carry a bag.
You look like a Roomba walking around, man.
All right, this is Brent's a soccer guy, and I'll leave you guys with this final vision. They've got this new technology in soccer using lasers or whatnot, and like
it's like this balls and strike stuff.
Catch your offsides.
Yes, this is the offside.
And it doesn't work.
Oh, it works. Because I'm going to show you, Brent, exactly how it works.
Well,
part of number 10 is offside, Brent. Which part is it?
His cup.
His cup is offside. That's the best answer yet.
His cup overrun it.
His cup was offside. So, all right, JP. I'm gonna let you get ready to play it away. We're gonna let you get back to work. Brent, any more final thoughts or anything before we get out of here?
I missed Roy Williams by like 5 minutes the other night, but he did autograph a young boys basketball, so that was nice.
Not only Roy came through, Donald Trump Jr. came to British Barbecue.
Brent's a States fan. It don't.
I know. I still would have talked to Roy.
You're a State fan with Terry.
Yeah, that's why I said him in.
Were you
in
were you alive when they won the national championship?
Barely.
Barely. Okay. I thought me and you was about the
Do
same
you
age.
remember it?
I was barely alive when they won the 74. I was definitely alive when they won the 83.
Okay.
I remember.
I
it.
figured we was about the same age.
Yeah.
Close.
I was watching that game live in 83.
Any final thoughts from,
probably
Chip?
not.
Congratulations again to the Shelby American Legion team, the sweep in the second round. Coach Ruff, Coach Weiss, Coach Ajakovic, Coach Wellman, Coach Willis. Good job, gentlemen. Good luck with the rest of the playoffs. And 2 weeks, Open Championship, Royal Troon. Looking forward to that.
All right, guys. We'll be back next week. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Check out the great deals this week at Oak Grove Auto Sales, Service, and Body Shop in Kings Mountain. This week, a 2000